bowl selector with the rewind. Oi, oi, Dougie. Hope you're doing well, mate.
Get ready.
Yeah. Get ready. It's outrun time. Splash wave coming at ya. What's up, Cutty, mate? I'm just dancing around the room to some banging gaming tunes. This is from Outrun, Splash Wave, you might know it. Turn it up loud, baby. Come on, people, dance with the webmaster. Everyone do the Trump. Yeah, getting our groove on before the podcast. Fucking banging tune. Boom. Always gets me in the mood. Every week. I can see Darren's waiting for me, so I'll join him in a moment. Just have to wait for this to finish, because, oh, so good. Alright, it's about to end. Yes, epic. I love it. Hope you enjoyed my dancing. Oh, that's so funny. Where is Darren? Hiya, Darren.
Howdy do.
So, I take you weren't watching the stream. Oh, I was just dancing. It was epic. Cutty and Dugster were loving my dance moves.
Was this in ARMA, I take it?
What's that? No, it was just because I always start the stream 15 minutes before we start recording.
Right.
I'll just put music on, like some gaming music for people to listen to. And I was just getting my groove on, baby. It's just me and you tonight, mate.
That's all right.
Well,
done that many a time before.
Yes, we have. Well, luckily, there is plenty to talk about this evening, news-wise, which is good. Because I've only played one game all week, and I think you already know what game that is. So
probably, yeah.
I will talk about it for quite a bit, because I've had an epic week on that particular game. So yeah, it's been good. I am drinking whiskey, so it might get good. So I'm ready to start when you are, mate.
Yeah, give it another 20 seconds and
yeah,
the
mate.
will have finished, so my attention won't be.
Well, what are you playing at the moment?
Guess.
Fortnite? You got to finish your game of Fortnite?
Yeah.
Oh, why am I not surprised?
New venture season started, so.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Well, I haven't hit record yet anyway. So for those of you who are listening live on Twitch, just say hello. I know Dugster and Cutty are there. I'm just unsure if there's anyone else, because it says there's 5 people viewing. So Just
One of them will
unsure.
probably be Pabes, and the other one might be Nick, even though they're not on.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm surprised Nick's not on tonight. Actually, I don't know what he's up to.
He might be working. I don't know if he still gets pulled back and forth on days and nights and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, Brooksy's here. Brooksy, hope you're doing well, mate. So you've got Cutty, Brooksy, and Dougster. I was actually streaming for. I think my stream earlier. I streamed this afternoon. I think it was like for 3 hours. Playing ARMA. Yeah. It was 2 hours and 50 minutes. Yeah, I did a 2 hour and 50-minute stream today on ARMA, and yesterday I did a 1 hour 51-minute stream on ARMA. Yeah. Which was pretty mental. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm out anyway. I'm just
Cool.
gathering rewards.
Yeah. Cutty and Dougster watched some of my ARMA streaming, and they quite enjoyed watching it because I don't think they've picked it up yet. So I think people are just wanting to try and get a little bit of a flavour of what it's like, and
makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I'll hit record in a sec, mate. Just give me a second.
All right.
I'm just maneuvering my. I've got a glass of whiskey here, and I've got a big glass of water as well for me throat. Look at that big bad boy of water. So I'm gonna be all good. Yeah, Dougster was saying he's got this big tax bill to pay, right? I've got a fucking tax bill as well, mate. Like, I work for a company, right? But because I changed jobs and shit, I got a letter from the HMRC. I've got to pay them 1,400 quid.
That's what their Pabes had that, didn't they? Because they obviously haven't sent your previous employer's tax thing through. They've put you on a different tax thing.
So annoying.
Or the old emergency tax.
Hello, AJ AJ Geezer's in the chat as well now. AJ Geezer! Oh, Jesus, I haven't seen AJ Geezer for a while.
These blokes are still going. Fucking hell.
Just Edders is here as well. Just Edders, hello. And so is Psytrance Visuals. Got quite a few people watching live this week. It's quite nice to see.
There's hardly anyone.
And there's only me and Darren on.
Yeah.
So it's all good, mate. It's all good. As I say, we've got plenty to talk about. But you know, loads of news has happened. We had the Xbox showcase thing. I'm going to be talking about ARMA for a while. I went through it very briefly, just you know, skipped through, if that makes sense. And there was literally only one game I thought looked good. So, but that's just my humble opinion. Other people might think different, and that's okay. Jesus, Doug says he had to pay up £3,000 fixing his car. Jesus, it sounds a bit like my old Focus last year. That's why I've just bought. That's why I just got a new car.
A new car for that price. Like, you could probably buy a new car for that.
Yeah, I've got a big fucking bright orange thing now, mate.
Yeah, I did see the pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I took it for a little drive today. Fucking quick as anything, mate. Those electric cars, because gone. I've been on a little rocket ship. Right, let me hit record.
As long as we're not like the US, where it's like, yeah, we want to go all electric by this year.
Well, England is, isn't it?
Oh, by the way, we're having rolling blackouts. Because we haven't got enough electricity.
And then a new president comes in, and in his speech says, "Drill, baby, drill." Oh, Jesus! Oh, be Jesus! I've got an electric car now, AJ. It's quite nice, mate.
You got both though, haven't you? Still, so
yeah, I've got I'm keeping a petrol car as a backup, but. Yeah, well, yeah, because I got my car through well, not that work salary sacrifice work thing. So
from like not having to go to work.
no, anyone can get it. Like if their company's on the thing, but the problem is if you lose your job, which happens a lot in IT, then obviously you lose the car. So yeah,
that's kind of weird. So was it a brand new car?
yeah, it's brand spanking new, mate.
So then they're obviously this has to be some sort of weird initiative to help companies sell more cars
It
because less
is.
people are buying new cars, aren't they?
It's an
It's the
initiative
same with
to
mobiles, but less
yeah.
people are buying new phones because the phones you've got from like 3 or 4 years ago do everything anyway.
Yeah, it's an initiative to
Apart
get
from
electric cars on the road because I wanted a normal, because I wanted a hybrid, but they're really expensive. So I got an electric
it's like
car, which is actually nice. I got a charger on the wall, and I charged it the other day. It cost me £1.69 to, not from 0 to 100. It was like 35%, but that's pretty
that's not
good.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not bad at all.
And it's a good tax thing. So obviously, I mentioned I had my tax bill. Well, part of that was because I had to pay back some of our child benefit because of my salary from the other year, last year. So now it's like a tax dodge because it's brought my salary down. So yeah, so it all works well.
But yeah, it's like the only thing with mobiles now, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
new from the
yeah.
last ones. It's like, oh, use AI to make all your photos look fake.
I tell you what I don't like about new cars though, because my Focus that I mainly have been driving is a 2011 model, but on that newer shape. So it was the first year on that shape, and no assists or anything like that. It's all buttons, right? Brand new fucking car. It's all on a touch screen. You even have to fiddle through fucking menus to turn the fucking heating up and down. It's it's so distracting. It really is. Oh,
Do you
it's too,
remember with I think it's in one of the Top Gears, wasn't it? There was one of Richard Hammond's cars was like all computer chipset or something for like all of it, and there was one fault with it, so his car wouldn't start. Where it was like something stupid, like the headlights wouldn't work, but it tripped the whole thing from not even starting the car
yeah.
because it was just saying faults.
Carl could just ask if there's still no
Humanity will
road
learn.
tax on electric cars. So I think they're going to start taxing all electric cars from April. But I'm kind of because I've got mine on a lease through obviously that salary sacrifice. It's all just part of the payment, so it's not really something that I need to
What
think
they
about.
need to start doing with the money people are paying for road tax is to actually
Fix
fix
the
the
roads.
roads.
That'd be
They're
nice, wouldn't
fucking
it?
terrible.
Yeah.
The roads
Jeez.
around here are terrible.
I remember I was driving when back in the day. I used to drive to work. I was coming home one day and I hit a pothole and it fucking popped my tire and buckled the alloy wheel.
All right, I know a lot of people are having their like drive shafts and suspension constantly getting fucked.
Uh,
The old shock absorbers and all that. Lot. Imagine if you're driving one of the Oldsmobiles, mate. You know, the old crank handle to start it.
oh
If you go over one of
jeez.
them potholes, you probably total the car.
Yeah. I'd say because Doug's just saying he lives in a flat. I'd say it's only worth getting an electric car if you can have a charger fitted to your house and you have like a driveway. Because if not, those like to charge it public is nearly as much as bloody filling your car up with petrol. So it's kind of pointless.
Oh, like the ones outside the petrol stations and that.
Yeah.
Not petrol stations, sorry.
Well,
the
just in random places. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I got
I always
like.
laugh because I always look in them and everyone who's sat in them looks miserable because they're probably like, got
Well, the
another
super.
20 minutes to
The
wait.
actually. So because I got this app right. And I was like doing some like just looking at it. Tells you where to charge and stuff. And like on those super fast chargers like the Tesla ones, you can get a good 50+% charge in like under 15 minutes, which I don't think is too bad. I think that's quite good.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. So it's as long as you like, in my mind, as long as I can get home with a little bit of charge, then I can just plug it in because I've got that Octopus EV tariff, so it's intelligent, so it only charges when it's the cheap price. So that's between 11:30 and 5 in the morning, but then they sometimes do it during the day at certain times as well. So it automatically just clicks in when it's on. It's quite good.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's obviously when less people are using power, I imagine.
Yeah, so it's clever. I wouldn't say. I mean, obviously, I've only had my car a week, so I can't be like, oh yeah, it's a game changer. But
Amazing, yeah.
I mean, it is cool. Like the fucking acceleration is just nuts. But
I
you
always
know,
remember. You've probably had it as well. There's an electric vehicle or an electric car in GT7.
yeah, and it just fucking flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it's got a fucking engine, just like jet engine mounted like halfway down the back of the car,
Yeah.
and it goes. It's just
Uh,
like, crazy.
yeah. Anyway, shall we start the podcast and get talking about video games before we bore everyone to death?
Yes.
All right. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 716 for Tuesday, the 28th of January, 2025. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me today is...
Hello, Switch.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Again.
Yeah, just the two of us. Oh dear. Nick, I don't know where Nick what Nick's doing tonight. Probably shagging. Graham is doing some family stuff. So it's just us two hardcore gamers, mate. And
Indeed.
I don't know how many games you've played this week, Darren.
Not many, to be honest. So.
I'm gonna put a little spoiler out there. I've played one game. And that is it.
You must have played something else.
No, I've literally played.
Not even anything on your phone.
No. Nothing. I don't play games on my phone.
Well, I don't know.
No.
Been playing the game of life though.
Yeah. Oh, I did
That's
actually briefly load up I did briefly load up another game just to see how it ran. But I suppose I can briefly mention that as well, I guess. So yeah. Let's get straight into it then, shall we?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, oh, you mean to go first? Okay.
You might as well.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to apologise because last week's show was obviously a Patreon episode. So unless you were listening live or you got Patreon, etc., you wouldn't have heard me banging on about how, getting my big hard cock out for ARMA Reforger. Way. So, for those of you watching live, I'm actually restreaming my video I streamed yesterday of me. I'm in the corner in my pajamas. I had a bit of a pajama day yesterday, and I spent it playing ARMA. So I did actually stream ARMA for around 2 hours yesterday, and today I streamed it for about 3 hours. Outside of that streaming, though, I played it a lot more. I just couldn't be asked to sit on camera all day because it's a bit like a job. I am loving this game, as you can tell. So I've had it for just over 2.5 weeks now. And let me just check my game time. I've played it for 110 hours. That's a lot of hours. I am absolutely loving it. The stream isn't really doing it justice. It is a gorgeous looking game. It is absolutely beautiful looking.
I watched some trailers for it last week when I went to work, and I was talking to my mate about it because he's a big Raw guy, and he's added it to his wish list and stuff now.
Brilliant.
And I'm sure I heard some of the lads going, "Oh, it's a bit PlayStation-y or PS3 or PS4 or something." I was like, "No, But
No.
it doesn't look that
Have
bad
you
at
seen
all.
my
It looks
screenshots
pretty
in the
good.
Discord? They are,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a
Yeah, I've
gorgeous
seen
looking game,
some of them,
especially the
yeah.
lighting. What surprises me about it is that the map. What is okay on the official servers? You can choose between one of two maps. You get a smaller island and a bigger island, and I explained this last week. I'm only playing the bigger island, and it is fucking huge. It really is huge, right? And what amazes me is how well the game runs on that big map, because you got to think, right? You got a huge map, you've got all the bases, you've got all the players running around the map, you've got AI on the map, and various other things happening, explosions, etc., etc. And it stays very stable for the most part. I mean, you do get the odd lag spikes and stuff, but overall it runs really, really well. And it's got quite a steep learning curve to it as well, I found, because when I started playing it a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of playing it a little bit like Battlefield conquest mode. So, I'd jump in, I'd look on my map and I'd be like, right, there's a point now, I'm going to go take that. And then I'd be like, right, got it, I'm going to move on to the next one. And that's kind of the wrong way to play the game. There's a lot more depth to it than that. So basically, there's this whole kind of, you got all the bases and you got two teams. You've got the Americans and the Russians. This is the official servers. I'll get onto the modded servers in a bit. On the official servers, and each team starts at a base kind of randomly on the map, and the first team to hold 5 bases for a set amount of time wins the game.
There's only 5 bases, is it, either?
Oh, yeah, but I think there's only like 7. Yeah, there's only like 7 on the map. So I was in a game, so I was playing this. So as an example, I've had games which have lasted an hour. I've had games like today. Like, I know I streamed for like just under 3 hours. I was in that same server for 5 hours today, and there was no winner when I left. I was like, I've got to come off now. I need my dinner, because there was a point in the game where it looked like the Americans were going to win because I was on the Russian team, and then we just kind of started to pull back, and I was like, fucking hell, man, this is awesome. But then I was like, go on.
Yeah, no, I was about to just ask briefly, like, is there any progression in the game, and how does that actually work?
This isn't. Not right per server, per game. Yes. And this is what I like about it. And this is what it's very old school in the way that there's a server browser. Yeah. You join a server and you start off as like so basically you rank up in that server like in the military ways. You start off as like a corporal, then you go up to like a lance corporal, sergeant, and all that, right? And within that game, for your actions, killing enemies, holding bases, resupplying strategic like the points, etc., etc., it boosts your rank up, right? When you rank up, it allows you to build more things. So, for example, at one of the bigger bases, you can't build a helipad until you're a certain rank. Yeah, because then and I think the system's really good, and they've even started in the next update. They're even limiting certain loadouts, like certain weapons and that, to certain ranks until you got onto certain rank, because basically the way the game works, and I think I explained this a little bit last week, is each base you've got on the map, and there's loads of them, apart from the main ones, obviously. Every time you take a different gun or like a rocket tail, a rocket launcher, something like that, anything, it dwindles that base's supplies down, and you're all sharing those supplies.
So there's like a resource, yeah.
So basically what's been happening, and this mainly happens on the US team, is people fucking load into a base and just demolish all the resources because they want all their fucking red dot sights and fucking sniper rifles and bazookas and all that bollocks, right? But basically, Because the whole supply thing is like a whole different game within a game if you want to do that. So basically, throughout the map, there are areas which have supplies, and you don't know where they are. Like, they show up on the map once you've found them, but once you start to learn the maps, you kind of know where they're going to be. But once you found them, like a little green icon appears on the map, like that look like a little supply, looks like a little supply logo. Anyway, basically you can, like, instead of fighting the war and taking bases and shooting people, you could just be a supply truck driver. You get a supply truck, you drive to the supply place, fill up your truck, take it to the base and unload it, and keep on doing that. That is a game within a game, right? So then you can understand why there are some funny videos online as well of this, of people getting upset when people aren't playing the game properly and just dwindling those supplies, because it actually takes some effort to get those supplies to the bases. Now, it does actually make for quite a tactical game though, Darren, because like in real war, if you're on the opposing team, you can kind of be a dick and camp out on the supply routes and fucking blow up the supply trucks as they're coming along. And that is an actual tactic that people sometimes do.
Disable the supply trucks and then steal the resources.
Yeah, so basically another thing, like I did this today actually, I was in a game, it wasn't a supply truck, but I was on the main road and I wasn't in a vehicle, but then I saw this American Humvee coming down the road, and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I had a sniper rifle, and I actually sniped him through the front window of the car, and then I killed him, and then I stole his truck. So you could really do that with the supplies as well. The thing is, though, the cars can get damaged. You can pop their tyres, they get damaged engines and shit like that. So, and you can repair them, but you need the supplies to repair them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so the sort of like character upgrades and things you're getting are basically per game basis.
Yes.
So it's not like you're gonna sort of like be playing a game for 2.5, 3 hours and then you're like, shit, I need to leave. I'm gonna lose out on all the XP or whatever.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's nothing like COD at all. And
yeah,
this is what we were circling back to. I know I've been talking a lot about this stuff. It's old school in that aspect. There's none of this codification of, oh, you're getting your XP, you're getting new weapons, like you've not got any of that progression.
To get a like tiger print for my gun.
Yeah, and it works well because people are playing the game for the fun. Remember those days, Darren? Back in the old days? Yeah, when people used to just play for the fun. Like, and that's what I mentioned last week. This is why I'm loving this game, because it really brings me back to those really fun old school days of COD 4, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, or Warfare 1 and 2, Halo 3, those old FP, those old first-person shooters that we love to play online for the fun. Yeah? And this is what this game is doing for me. It's on, and I'm so happy it's on Xbox and PlayStation as well. The official servers are cross-play, and everyone's been, as I say, really, apart from the odd dick, you get them every now and again, but on the whole, 99% of the time, the team are friendly, they want to work together. This is the first game I've played for over 10 years, I'd say, where everyone chats in game chat and is friendly as well.
Isn't that because like the game chat is actually kind of integral to the gameplay?
Yes.
In the way that the game chat is done? Yeah, I think more games should actually kind of do that if
Yeah.
they're that type of game, obviously.
Yeah,
Odd, but not a good idea.
No, and it works well because you need to communicate. Your team need to communicate if they want to win, right? So it's weird. Like, this is the first multiplayer game for me in donkey's years where I have been playing it mostly just on my own, and I'm just randomly just hooking up with strangers online, and we're chatting, and you know, and we're having a good time. You know, like I'll spawn at a base, you know, at the beginning of the game, and I'll see some random people, and I'll get in the proximity chat, because you've got proximity chat and 2 different radio channels. You know, I'll get in prox chat. Hey guys, how you doing? What shall we do? And then we'll all be looking at the map, and we'll be like, all right, well, let's get in this. Let's spawn a vehicle and go to this base here. We'll take this, and then we'll plant a radio, and then we'll, you know, and then we'll decide we're going to go from there. You know, and
Like a
then,
merc for hire.
you know, yeah. But what's really good about it is it really encourages the teamwork in simple things like just traveling, because there's no mini map. You can't see where you are on the map, right? So generally, I will drive, like, because I basically the way the map works is you can't see yourself, but you can see only like these little icons for all the squad leaders in the game. Yeah, well, on your team, right? So basically, I'll jump in. I'll make myself a squad leader so people can see me on the map. So if I jump in a vehicle with a bunch of guys, I'll say, guys, can one of you map read? You can see me on the map. I'm Webby. This is my icon. Can you direct me? Yeah. So then there'll be this whole conversation going along as I'm driving with that teamwork. You know, take the next left, take the next right. Okay, stop over at this barn, and then we'll sneak into the base from there. Yeah. It works so well because of that, because of these little game systems that they have in it, you know? I love that.
Because you're all working together as a team to achieve a goal. Like
Yeah.
generally in things like that, everything you're kind of doing, even when you're playing with other players, you're all having a group experience doing that. It's not like you're having your own just single player game
Yeah.
per se.
100%. You
Everyone's
need to
going to be
work
having
as a
their own
team.
mad stories and that.
Well, it's quite funny because some people get really into it on these servers. I'll like yesterday. Oh, it was so funny. So basically, I was going to this. There's 4 of us in this car, and we we're going to this base, and we all got out, and we were going to take the base. I get shot, and I'm down on the ground. So basically, the way it works is you can get shot, take injuries, you can bandage yourself. You can also get knocked out, so you'll be laying there, and it's all black, and you can't move for a while, and then you can get up and you got to use a bandage or a tourniquet or whatever. Everyone else can heal each other as well. And it's just funny the way that things go. Like I got dropped, and there was this like guy from Europe. I can't remember what country, maybe France or something. And he was like, "Webby, I'll save you, Webby." And I could see him like hunched over my body where it was all going black. It's like, "Webby, don't die on me. Like, I'm bandaging you up. Have a bit of morphine." I was fucking pissing myself. You know what I mean? Because it was just that kind of that teamwork that happens, and everyone's chatting. It is so hilarious. Like some of the conversations that happen on this game are just so fucking funny. It is just so good. You know, playing this week, I've added around 5 or 6 new friends to me Steam friends list from people who've been playing it, who've obviously on Steam and have been playing it, which is really, really cool. And I haven't added new people in donkey's years, like just from playing games. I think the last time I added people from just playing games was probably on the Xbox 360. You know? It's crazy. Like it's got such a cool community feel to it, and everyone's kind of got that same mentality, if that makes sense. And that's what I like about it.
Even though it is on the other systems, I don't even really remember any sort of trailers or pushes for the game either. It just kind of came out, and I think I just saw it, and then you was talking about it,
Well, the weird thing about
and I
this
thought, oh, that's
game,
the thing that's been on PC for a while.
yeah, so it's been out on PC a couple of years, but the weird thing about this game is it's actually came out as it, like the dev team put it out as kind of a, because it's a new engine from Arma 3, as kind of a test before Arma 4. So it's not even like kind of meant to be like a full on game, if that makes sense. It's kind of like an interim kind of demo game before Arma 4 comes out. But dude, it's It's fucking nuts. Like, yeah. So some of the little things I've learned as I've been playing it. So, so if you're thinking about it and you just want some hints and tips, when you take a base, if there is enough supplies already there, first thing you need to do is build a radio tower. If you don't build a radio tower, you cannot spawn there, because every base you get, once you put a radio tower down, it becomes a spawn point for your whole team, which is very handy. Make sure you do it. Also, it extends the radio network on the map. So basically, the way it works is you take a point, as you can see on the map, on my map here, right? Like, look, I've paused it. Right, see Wyoming. You see there's a place called Wyoming. It's a kind of a like, so all the, yeah. So basically, they've got nicknames, right? So the place is called Villeneuve. It's like the actual towns, but they all have code names, right? That's called Wyoming because I'm playing on the Americans here. It's got that little yellow symbol. You got to place a tower there. Once there's a little radio tower there, it will then extend the radio network, so then I can take that one there, which is Hawaii, or this one, Connecticut. So it's kind of like you're making like a network, a mesh radio network. It extends it, because as well, if you don't extend it, if you like run out to a side of the map that's outside of radio range, then you have no comms with your team. So it's quite important to do. And some of the little things that make this game like really immersive to me, you got the proximity chat, right? And so you press so you got 3 different things you can do: proximity chat, or well, 2 things, or radio chat. But on the radio chat, you can switch between different channels, but you got 2 as default: your squad and your platoon. Your platoon's the whole team. Your squad is your squad. Even if you're talking on the radio, though, people will be able to hear you in the proximity as well. So basically, if you're in enemy territory and you start chatting shit on your radio, the enemy will hear you talking, right?
Can you whisper?
Yes, but then people will still kind of hear you whispering,
All
right?
Fair enough.
But what makes it like but what makes it immersive is, like, say if me and you are playing, Darren, the further away you walk from me, the quieter you will get in my headphones when you're talking, which is, I love that. It's really cool. On your radio, the further you are from the main kind of radio tower, it gets more crackly.
That's it, yeah.
Dude, it sounds so real, man. It's so cool. I love it. It's just amazing. It really, really is. But what makes
They
it
could have gone
on,
super immersive and actually had where someone in your squad has to be the radio guy.
Well, yeah,
They've
okay.
got the little thing on their back to sort of obviously, and if someone shoots that and takes that out, then your team's radio is disabled and you can't use them until you get another one or something.
Yeah. Now, okay. So I'm not an expert. I mean, I played 100 hours, but I'm not an expert. So there is so basically, when you've got your ammo thing down, there's some extra things that you can take, and I don't really see people use it much. You can replace your backpack with a radio as a radio backpack, but then when you're in the field, you can put it down as a mobile spawn point for your squad. Cool. Just for your squad, though, right? I only found out about this the other day when someone on my squad was using it and talking about it. I was like, fuck me, I didn't even know about it. It's well good. I
mean, good if you're trying to take a base. You can just pop it off in a bush or something just outside the base.
Yeah, well, you don't want to put it too close, because it won't allow you to spawn, because it will say that enemies are near. So you got to have it in a sensible place, but also it makes a noise, that radio kind of noise. So then obviously the enemy will hear it. So you got to be quite thoughtful when your approach and where you're going to put these things, right? You can actually get a radio truck. I've not spawned one myself. I'm not really sure how it works, but I've seen other squads use it, and you can dump it somewhere and it becomes a spawn point for the whole team. But I think there's got to be certain kind of things you need to do to be
Missions
able.
map,
Yeah, I'm not really sure how that works, how to get it. But it is handy because there is vehicles in this. You can get there's like a tank, and there's helos, and helicopter pilots are. If you get a good helicopter pilot, you're golden. You really are, because they know where to go, and they'll drop you off behind enemy lines. You go and take.
and that's also why you want to make friends, because you'd be like, oh, John over here is fucking shit hot in the chopper. All right, we'll get him in. We've got a good chopper pilot then.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But no, it's cool, man, because what's made this game for me, and the reason I've been playing it so much, is just because I know 9 times out of 10, I mean, I have gone into servers sometimes where I've been like, oh, these people are dicks, and I've left and found another one. But 9 times out of 10, I'll jump in a server on my own, and I know that I'm going to run into some cool people. I'm going to have a laugh, and we're all just going to have fun. And that, and that's what makes it for me. It's social. I've met some really cool people from loads of different countries. It's crazy. All around Europe. And I've been having a good time with it. As I say, like, I haven't had this feeling since, like, this proper feeling in a game of like meeting people and chatting since really Graw 2. To be fair, when we play Graw back in the day, Darren, and we jump in, and we just chat to people in, even in the main menu before the game starts, and everyone's having fun. And when you die, you're kind of in that menu chatting shit to each other and stuff, Oh, I love it. I'm absolutely loving it. Now, also, because it's PC, it's heavily moddable. And the cool thing for console players is the modded servers are all available to use on Xbox. And there is going to be an update soon for PlayStation gamers to be able to use those modded servers as well.
That is kind of weird, because I thought they'd actually got over that, because there was the whole issue at the start when they did the Skyrim, not the 10-year, but the special edition, wasn't there? And obviously Xbox had options to use some of the mods, whereas they were blocked on PlayStation because they see it as like third party.
Well, apparently it's coming.
That was actually sorted out. So you're kind of like, well, if they've got around that there, then I imagine there are certain things that are set in place to sort of like work for that.
Yeah, because basically you don't have to do anything manual. You'll select one of these modded servers, and it will automatically just download and install the mods for you, even on PC. So you don't actually have to do anything. Now, the cool thing about these modded servers is, because I had a little go on a couple yesterday, and I'll talk about this other one I mainly use with this group, but I went on to a couple yesterday, and what's really cool about it is, like, people just make their own maps, their own teams. Like, there's maps with all, like, because this is set in like the 80s, it's kind of older guns and stuff, whereas obviously like a lot of these modded servers, it's all like up-to-date weapons, up-to-date scopes. You can see where you are on the map with full GPS and all that, right? Which is fantastic. But I went on one map yesterday, and it was a Ukraine versus Russia map, and you actually like the full uniforms, and it was actually a map of a town in the Ukraine. I couldn't believe it. Because I was chatting to the guy, I was like, because one of the guys who I was been gaming with
Ender's Game
invited me to it, and I was like, fucking hell, man, I didn't think they'd do this. And he was like, yeah, this is an actual town in Ukraine. Someone's remade it for the game. I was like, oh my god, that's insane, absolutely crazy. But I did get a bit hectic because the map wasn't huge, and it was 128 players, and I was like, mate, I can't deal with this much action. It was too much for me, because basically the official servers, I know the map's big, but it's only 48 players, so it's like 24 players a team, and that's quite nice, because it's not just chaotic action all the time. You've got time to build up your bases.
You got some moment-to-moment gameplay rather than just balls to the wall.
Yeah. So yeah, it's obviously those. I think the bigger map with 128 players would probably be fun to play. But I like the official servers, and that's just how I've played. However, I have been playing more with this clan I'm in who take it serious. I just wanted to, yeah, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. So this was actually Illmatic who invited me to these guys. They're called Task Force Black, and basically they run their own server, and well, they've got two servers and they've got their own maps and all their own. They've got all their own custom gear. So you've got the Americans and the Brits, and us British guys all have the official, like, proper British Army uniform, England, like the Union Jack patches and everything like that, all the guns, everything. And I was playing with them in the week, and I had to. And one of the initiation things to play with it, like to do it properly, is they don't take it all seriously. I had to go through basic training. So it got me on the server and had a fucking training course and everything. It was fucking hilarious. So I had to do that with them, and it was a good laugh. We had a good time.
Did it teach you how to throw potatoes and stuff, like, instead of grenades?
A lot of it was like, I mean, I just blasted through it because obviously, like, I play games a lot, and they were like, "Yeah, you're good." And then we did, and then they were like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Oh, I want to jump out of planes and shit. That'd be fun." They're like, "Right." So the next day we all had parachute training out of a plane. So we're all jumping out, parachuting out this plane, and we had to, like, figure out where we were going to land, like, using the map proper. So I actually got a picture of how I figured that out. I put it in. I think I put it in their pictures. Where is it? They do have a. We go here. So basically, you got your map, yeah, and then that was our landing zone where that X is, and we're in the plane. It was like, right, how do we get there? And there's like all these little numbers. Oh, I might have actually taken it on my. I might actually get a better picture on my. Yeah. You can see all these little numbers, and they're the degrees, which you need to look at, kind of your bearing on the compass. There's loads of little numbers, and I was like, right, let's try and figure this out. And they taught me how to do it. So you see where you are on the map. You get this fucking square ruler thing out. Point it north, put it in the middle, and then you draw a line from where you want to go to you, and then it tells you the degrees you gotta go to. So we're getting, like, really in depth with it now, yeah. Like, right, let's go. Jumped out, hit our target, and then we did a little mission, and we had to, like, we had to kill a high value target and destroy a radio station and stuff like that. So they make their own missions. I think I mentioned this last week.
Oh, that's cool.
So basically, you got a game master. Like, one of them's a game master. He's like, right, I've made up this scenario. You got a parachute and land in this location. You got 3 targets. One target, you got to blow up the radio comms. The second target is to destroy a weapons cache, and the third target is just to kill this HVT. So then we go around and do it all properly, and we take our time. We did this one at night, so we had our night vision goggles on and going through. Like, the whole thing took like 3 hours. And it was so fun because it was all like, just for the fun, you know what I mean? Like, and then we have like a little debrief after and have a little laugh, and that's it. I'll go to bed. So, this game has and this is another thing I like about it. It has so many options of how to play it. Like, as I say, you could do the official servers and just play with the vanilla weapons and that. There's loads of different modded servers, which are all loads of different maps, different weapons, all like modern shit. And then, or you could join like a hardcore clan like I have, where they again have their own modded servers, but it's all, they have a game because there is like game master, like this, both, so basically the way it works is you have a server, and the game master has complete control over everything. So how many enemies are in an area, they can put more down. Put objectives down and stuff like that. And it's just cool. It's just really, really cool. I'm just absolutely loving this game because you know, because of all that variety, you know, like, as I say, I could jump in a game and I'd be like, right, I'm going to be on a fire squad with the guys and we're going to go and cap points and kill dudes. Or, fuck it, I'm going to be a sniper and just, like, hang with a squad, but then I'm going to, like, you know, find a good spot and snipe out this base and take out the enemies at this main base or whatever, you know, some good spots like lighthouses and shit like that. Or I can help out the team by being like driving a truck and doing supply runs and helping the team out in that way, you know. So, you know, I'm sure there's other things that you could do. I don't know,
Did anyone
a
ever
chopper
just
pilot.
volunteer to be like the morale boosting Joker?
Oh, there's plenty of
Just
jokers in
there
this game,
to,
mate. Especially the Americans. You know, you know, you'll get like some of the funny moments I've had is like you'd get into like a Jeep with the Americans and then start playing fucking music like World War, like Vietnam music, like you know, all those classic kind of Vietnam tracks and stuff like that as you're driving down the road just to get you in the mood. And we're like, yeah, baby. You know, so yeah, this game just brings a smile to my face because of that. I think it's just more that community feel of, as I've said 100 times already, just I get into a game and I can just get on the comms. All right, guys, anyone fancy going to, I don't know, to Chotane, which is town on one of the maps? Can someone help me do Chotane? And I'll get like 3 or 4 guys go, yeah, we'll help you, Webby. Let's all link up and get in a Humvee and fucking go there and take it. You know what I mean? And there's no other game in recent memory that I can think of where there's that much teamwork, that much chatting on a radio, like in game or anything. You know, it's something truly unique. You know, I just wish more games like this because, you know, most games now, and I'm not going to diss COD because I like to play COD, but
it's a different type of game.
You know, there's too many games like COD. You know, they're all season passes. They, you know, you want to get the next fucking gun skin. And, you know, and there is a place for those action games. Don't get me wrong. I think they're great. But we've kind of been missing this kind of game. You buy a game and that's it. There's no more money to spend on it. You get it and you can have your fun on the official servers, fun with the community in those. But then there's a massive other community of the mod scene, making their own maps, game modes and stuff like that. You know, it's something truly magical about this, in my opinion. Like, it's come, like for me, it's come out of nowhere because I didn't even, the only reason I bought it was because of Illmatic. So big shout out to Illmatic. I know you're listening because you are a Patreon. You know, he messaged me a few times over a week saying, Webby, you'll love this game. Like, seriously, just buy it. You'll love it. It's your sort of game. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm in an hour, and then I was like, you know what? I'll bite the bullet because I know, like, if I don't like it and I haven't played it for more than 2 hours, I could just get a refund on Steam. Well, I was fucking hooked after an hour. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm loving it, and as I say, it'd be nice to see more people in the 360G community play this. I think because I think, you know, if we get in together, that we'd have good fun. I mean, I've had some good nights on it with Frosty. Who else have I played with on there? And I just want to make sure. Oh, what's my tag? Obviously, yeah, had a good time with him and Blakey as well, Colin Blake from the community. So I've played with a few people from the community, which has been cool, you know, fantastic fun times. But obviously I'm on every fucking night at the minute, and other people have got lives, whereas I don't at the minute until my family come home. So I'm just hammering it. So, yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about it, really. I mean, I'm just loving it. Absolutely loving it, mate. As I say, the graphics are really good. I'm not seeing it on console. I imagine it looks decent on console. I'm not even playing it on maxed out settings because I just want to keep it at a decent frame rate, and it looks lovely, especially the lighting. There's a full day-night cycle on it, so if you're on a server for long enough, it'll go day, night, day. You know what I mean? Um, you know, and as the sun's coming up or going down, it looks nuts, like so nice. The only thing I don't like about the official servers is there's no night vision. But what I did find out the other day was you can equip a grenade launcher to the bottom of your assault rifle, and instead of actual having grenades, you can have flares. So you pop a flare up in the sky, and it lights it up like a fucking Christmas tree, like the area below. And I was chatting to
I
one,
must admit,
yeah,
with that, with the things, I was actually like in one of the trailers I was watching. It shows you sort of like nighttime wooded warfare,
mm-hmm,
and you can't see shit until
mm-hmm,
them flares go up. And I'm
mm-hmm,
kind of like, this is pretty atmospheric, like with the
yeah,
light going over slowly, and then people just firing into the darkness
yeah.
when they see movement and that.
It's really immersive, and what I was going to say is that I was chatting to a guy on my squad about the flares yesterday, and he was saying that he used to be in the army about 20 years ago, and he was saying to me the flares look so realistic in this because he used to use the flares in the army. I was like, really? That's
I
really
imagine they've probably
impressive.
got a lot of military people like with dealings with the game. You know what I mean? Consulting.
Yeah. Oh, Brooksy asked me if it's crossplay, full crossplay on official servers. So yeah, I have been playing with PlayStation and Xbox people, which has been really, really good. Yeah, so yeah, on the modded servers, obviously they will have night vision and all that because modern times, right? But on this, you got the flares. You do have flashlights as well, but obviously you don't really want to use them because you'll give your position away. So yeah, it's just really, really cool. So yeah, as I say, like the graphics are nice, the performance is really cool. The teamwork is really, really cool. You're just watching me now, like I just got out of a chopper with a team, and then we're going to a base. This is from my stream yesterday. You can see we're all chatting to each other, figuring out the way to go, and yeah, it's just a really cool fucking game, and I love it. I'm absolutely hooked on it. It's the first game that I've been this addicted to for ages. Like, when was the last time I've played over 100 hours of a game in just over 2 weeks? I can't fucking remember. Really, it's been that long. Like, I put that many hours into any game in
Well,
that
I
short
don't
amount
think
of
you've had
time.
the chance to put in
Well, no,
100
true,
hours in a couple of
true,
weeks. Yeah.
yeah, true. But no, it's really addictive, and I say because and as I say, but I like the fact there's no progression system. Like from game to game. I like that each game's its own kind of thing. You know, so yeah, because it rewards you for helping out the team and doing stuff in the game, in that specific game. So yeah, and it's taught me how to read a map, Darren, as well,
Yeah, I
which
remember you saying about that last week.
yeah, which could be quite handy. Map, compass, little ruler thing. I can read a map. Better than it's better than being in Cubs or Scouts, mate. So yeah, I think that's enough on Armor this week. I'll probably talk about it again next week. I'll try to play some other games, but um, that might be tough for me to do because this is so good. But yes, that's enough Armor for 1 week. So to you, Darren.
Sort of like mainly sort of sporadic stuff, I will say.
Yep.
Um, although I did sort of like go a little bit retro and play an older game this week.
Yep.
So I finally decided to enroll at Hogwarts.
What? Hogwarts
Yeah.
Legacy?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Are you feeling all
So
right?
yeah, no, I picked it up sort of around in the Christmas sale because you could pick it up for like 20 quid.
Ah.
And obviously, it was one of the games where it's like, oh, it's pro enhanced, and I was like, well, it's another game, and it was always one of them ones that I thought looked good, but there was just a lot of other stuff that came out around the time, I think,
Yeah.
where I was like, oh, I'm not really going to get the chance to sort of play it or anything and stuff, and to be honest, this game still looks really good.
Oh
Like
yeah,
visually, I think, even though it's like what almost 2 years old now, because
yeah,
it came out in 2023, didn't it?
yeah,
Initially, and I can see like why this game sold like tens of millions of copies.
yes. There's a lot of Harry Potter fans out there.
There is, but it's not just that. It has a kind of magical wonder to the game itself.
Yeah,
Obviously, the opening introduction to the game is done really well. It's very sort of, how would you say, cinematic. That's it, sort
yeah,
of thing, where it sort of ends with like a sweeping shot across the water to Hogwarts, and the titles come up and everything, just almost like it does in the films.
yeah,
Per se, it's kind of weird because this is set like sort of like 100 years before the films, isn't it?
yeah. Roughly, yeah,
Because it's kind of weird because England obviously outlawed and changed a lot of policies, we'll say, in that time. They
hmm,
regressed in those 100 years because there's a lot of sort of things going on that are like, really, in this era? Don't think so. But it's fine.
yes.
But exploring Hogwarts itself is fantastic.
Oh God, yeah. It is really well done, isn't it?
Exceedingly well done. Like the attention to detail and all the little areas. It's kind of like when you find a new wing to the castle that's obviously themed on the lessons that it gives and stuff. You're kind of like, oh yes, another area to sort of explore and look about and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, I will say that that poltergeist is a prick. Peeves, I think he's called.
Peeps.
No, Peeves.
Yeah, I'm just joking, mate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely a little bit of a twat. There's very, I imagine there's a few same facey things going on there because the amount of students and that are in there.
yeah,
So I'm in Ravenclaw.
yeah,
I didn't particularly want to go Gryffindor. It's a bit classic. Slytherin's kind of slightly evil, and I never really play games bad, like as the
yeah.
bad character per se. And Hufflepuff's Hufflepuff. No one wants to be a Hufflepuff.
No.
Um, but yeah, I just the controls are very simple as well.
Yeah,
I would say, like you learn certain set spells, you basically map them to your four buttons, and you can pretty much switch them out like pretty intuitively as well.
yeah.
So you can sort of turn yourself invisible, which I figured was going to be something when I think I was in Hogsmeade, and I was like, oh, there's a treasure chest over there, and I was like, is it looking at me? Is that? Hang on a minute, like, and it started sort of started to get a bit stressed out as I got closer, and I was like, you know what, it probably won't attack me, but I'm not going to do it just yet.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously, yeah, it keeps an eye out, and the closer you get, it locks itself tight,
Yeah,
doesn't it, to
yeah,
stop you opening it up unless you use set spells. You get levitate, you can do something like I do really enjoy pulling items out of the air towards yourself
yeah. It's cool, isn't it?
and like catching them in your little like class diary thing
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and everything. I haven't sussed out what the deal is with the doors with the animal symbols on them, and then there's like dice on the walls that you can roll.
Oh right, yeah, 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 yeah. I can't quite remember now off the top of my head. It's been a
Yeah,
while
I
since I've
haven't
played
I
it.
haven't figured that one out. There's like sums as well in diagrams between those.
Right.
Yeah, crafting of potions and all other bits and bobs. But I still haven't actually even got to the point where I've unlocked my talents yet. And I've
Oh
been playing
right.
the game for about 7 or 8 hours. And I'm like level 15, and I'm like, where's my talents? I
Well, I
want
know what
some
you're like
talent.
when you play games, though, Darren. You take ages
I
just
haven't, yeah.
just exploring. You don't, you take ages to go through like the main stories, don't you? So
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I really appreciate with this game is when it first came out, I remember sort of saying to a friend, like, oh, you have to go to lessons and all of that kind of stuff, don't you? And he was like, yeah, yeah, that's that you do. And I said, oh, is it like Persona where you have to go to lessons with a certain time and then you've only got and he was like, no, no, you just run around and do what you like when you want. When you want to go to the lesson, you just go there and it starts it. And I
Yeah.
think that system's really good
Yeah.
because it doesn't constrain you into thinking, shit, I need to go and do this next when I'd rather be off doing something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
You can kind of sort of take your time and in your own mind, you can sort of condense it. I mean, it's kind of weird why no one reported a child from Hogwarts had gone missing in the woods for 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I was running around like attacking a goblin camp, and it definitely went from night to day to day to night again, like while I
Yeah.
was exploring this kind of area. The story's done really well.
Oh, it's
Also,
great. It's really well done. Yeah,
the
it's really good.
yeah, even the PS5 controller is kind of cool because like when you pet cats and stuff, I know it's obviously a thing in games and it can you pet the animal, etc. Like the cats actually purr out of the controller.
Oh, that's cool.
And it does other sort of weird and wonderful things as well with the controller here and there. It's got like the what's it called where they tighten the buttons and stuff. I can't remember haptic feedback sort of stuff or
Oh,
haptic
yeah.
triggers and
Nice.
stuff. What they're called. So that's all there as well. Just exploring the world is just really really fun because
Yeah, it is.
it is sort of like slightly different. Yeah, it's got like a childish sort of spin to it, but
Once you get your broom
it's
and you can fly around, mate, it's even better.
that's what I'm looking forward to the
Yeah.
flights and stuff because at the moment I'm just traveling between the little flames that you unlock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even then, you'll be sitting there and I'm like, who's talking to me? And you turn around and it's like a bust of a statue having a
Yeah.
conversation with me.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're in Hogwarts itself, you've got like this giant thing of a dragon that's moving, and like all the paintings, like they'll talk to you as well, and they watch you as you walk past.
Yeah.
There's like a part yesterday or today actually when I came out of a room, and there was like a couple of suits of armor, and one of them just jumped off the plinth and beat the shit out of the other one.
That's funny.
And I was just like, and I was like, oh, I can't put him back together because obviously you can get a spell called Reparo, which basically like repairs things that have been
Yeah.
smashed up, which is
Yeah.
also part to do with some of the puzzles and things. But yeah, you got like that mixed with all the side quests and the sort of other different things in the game. The fact that there's no time constraint, it is sort of open world. I wouldn't say it's like full on,
Yeah.
because I imagine it is quite restricted, but you can sort of obviously travel to Hogsmeade and you've got various other parts as well, and they've all got their own little challenges, haven't they, to
Yeah.
do. And one of the things I was kind of, it was like a gift and a curse. So one of the things I found quite early on, which I was quite happy with, was the game's transmog system.
Yes. It makes stuff look. Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
fan bloody tastic. Because I was sort of like running around doing all these different bits and bobs. You open up different chests and you pick up stuff, and it's like, here's a hat that looks like shit,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh. And then like a bit later on, you're like, here's some glasses that make you look like Harry Potter, and I'm like, I don't want to look like Harry Potter. Thank you very much. And then you sort of look and they go, I bet they've got stats, so I'm forced to equip them
Yeah.
to obviously raise your stats. And then I looked, and it was just like, all right, yeah, great. I look like a dickhead. Fantastic. And then I'm like, hold on a minute. Oh, I can glamour it and hide it
Yeah.
like straight away. Like it's maybe that wasn't there on the game's release. You know, sometimes they do add
Oh, it
those things a bit
was. It
later on.
was on
Oh,
there.
it
Yeah.
was. Oh,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
fantastic. And that coincided with the other thing that I found slightly annoying was the fact that you only had 20 inventory slots and they filled up
Mm,
super quick. And then everything I was picking up was like, you don't have room for this, you don't have room for this. And it's like, right, is there a stash? And I remembered there being a stash at like your common room
yeah.
area,
Yeah.
but it's not actually a stash. I couldn't drop stuff in there like
I'm
items,
sure you
like
could
the
store
clothing
stuff like you
stuff.
get like there's another room you get later. I don't want
I
to
know the
spoil it.
room of requirement. I haven't
Yeah.
got it yet.
Yeah.
That's basically the big thing. So
Yeah.
that might be a what's it. But I did look. I did Google like when it didn't actually allow me to put anything in there. It was just like red when I had to interact with it. And I said, "Is there a player stash?" And it said, "No, there isn't."
Okay. I
And I
thought the
was
rumor
like,
requirement had it. Okay.
yeah. There might be one in there. Obviously, it might have even come in a later update because I think you played this when it pretty much came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, every bit of gear you've picked up, even if you sell it, it still keeps the glamour.
Yeah. It's cool, though, isn't it?
So if you want to then still keep something because you like the appearance of how it looks, you can still glamour that over even after you've sold it off,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And
That
there are
is cool.
certain games out there that still can't do that.
Yeah.
And it kind of bugs me. It's like one of the main things with Dragon's Dogma. Like it's medieval. Most medieval hats were fucking stupid looking.
Mm.
And you've spent ages in your character creator and like you're doing your haircut and all that, and you're like, yeah, excellent, I look badass. And then minutes later, you're running along with a fucking dead cat on your hat with like feathers coming out of it, and you're like, I look like a twat, and you can't hide it or anything, but you have to have it on because it's obviously a shitload of stat increase.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of these people that likes to run through like a game naked with a wooden club or something for the challenge.
Lols. I'm glad you're enjoying
But
it, though,
yeah,
mate. It's a great game. It really is.
it's one of those ones where I'm kind of like, even though this is like 2 years old almost, it's still really, really good. And you can pick
Yeah.
the game up now for a song. I mean, most people, if they've got kids or whatever, their kids have already probably played it and had fun with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, you meet a quite strange group of like kids at the school as well. We'll
Yeah.
say that all have their kind of quirks. And I will say, one of the characters I thought was going to be a complete dick. He's the man so far.
Nice.
At first, I was like, "Oh, is he going to be the dickhead character that's going to kind of be all on my case and everything?" And then he's like, "Oh," and then we got in a bit of shit, and he didn't grass me up. He like kept me out of it, and I was like, "Oh, he's a man, this guy."
Nice. Nice.
So,
Played anything else?
so well, that might as well toss it back to you, mate, to talk about some other stuff, and then just fling the
So
bitsy games to and fro.
all I've played is Arma. However, I did, as we all know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth come out on PC this week.
Oh right, yeah.
So I did try it very briefly on PC yesterday. Excuse me, so I'm really tired. I was up early this morning. I went for a walk, I went for a 6 mile walk this morning at like 9 o'clock, and I'm knackered now. Just to get out of the house because I didn't get out yesterday. No, I literally only tried it for about 20 minutes, just to see what it looked like, and it looked nice. Graphics look slightly better than PS5, definitely better frame rate. It's very good looking. That's all I can say. I'm really happy that it's now out on PC, and yeah, that's it. that's literally there's nothing else I can say about it because I hammered it last year, right, on Xbox, on Xbox, on PlayStation. But nothing I can really say now because I've already completed it. I literally hardly played anything on. I only played like 20 minutes of it, as I say, on the PC, and yeah, and it looked just like a slightly polished version. That is it. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my god, it's so much better on PC, OMG, blah blah blah. It's like it looks a little bit sharper. That's it. So, but as I say, I'm glad it's out on PC, and I'll be talking about it again in the news section anyway. So, yeah,
It's cool.
yeah. You played anything else, mate?
Yeah, I played it. Obviously, played a little bit of Space Marine with my mates. Sort of doing co-op on that, and that game can also, I suppose, have the camaraderie that you kind of get from Arma a little bit.
Oh yeah.
When you're playing a certain classes. If you've played it, you'll know you'll get certain enemies that will like be calling for backup and other sort of bits and bobs. And it is always good to be like that guy that's like, "Don't worry about it, lads. I've got this. You just
Yeah.
carry on doing what you're doing. I've got him. Yeah, he's down. I've got him. That one's turning up. Don't worry, I'll take him out. just
Yeah.
carry on what you're doing. There's a med kit over there. Grab that. Don't worry about me. I'm fine back here. Just like
Yeah.
keeping an eye out for other people and sort of that thing. But then it's still crazy because I'm pretty sure they've buffed the spawn rate of some of the enemies.
Oh.
Because we had a game the other day which was one of those "you shall not pass" games, where the game's just like, no, you're fucked. You ain't getting through this
Mm,
run whatsoever. I think we was about halfway through the level. We'd had one med kit spawn, and I
Jesus.
think one grenade, which was a melter grenade, which was just they're not good. They're just like a thing you throw on the floor and
Right.
detonate it when enemies are around it. And then the game decided to throw a boss at us, and I'd probably say about 10 or more mediums alongside all the other fuckery that was going on. And it
Oh,
was just like, my mate was like, "I've never seen this many mediums like flapping about." And I was like, "Yes, bollocks, mate. It's impossible.
wow.
You can't defend against all of that." And
Jeez.
then like the next game you have, you'll just go through and it'll be like reasonably okay with a challenge. It's just one of those weird things that happens every now and again.
Okay.
But it's kind of good because you never have, like, I'd say, a fully relaxed game. You'll always have a couple of moments in a game where you get a bit of sweaty palms going on
Yeah, I suppose it'd
because
get
things are
boring if
kicking off.
you could just stomp through it every fucking time.
Yeah, I mean it is done with like one of those kind of AI direct managers or whatever it is, so
Oh yeah.
you're never going to have the same enemies in the same area and all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You'll get sort of parts where the game director will be like, "Yeah, you can have a clump here and a clump there, maybe one round the corner," but they're never going to be roughly the same enemy types.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to change them up and move them about, and like the different random bosses that can sort of turn up as well.
Mm.
So yeah, got another one of my classes up to 25. So I think that's 3 or 4 now. I've got to max rank. But even once I've got to max rank, you're still talking about maybe doing another 10 plus missions
Okay.
clearing to get all of the legendary armor pieces
Okay.
for that character.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. Played for a bit. The first Descendant, I've been sort of like dipping in and out of daily, just doing my sort of daily bits on that, more like the Void Arc runs and stuff. I've got
Yeah.
the last character and everything now. Kind of irritating that I still don't want to can't really level up my dog.
Okay.
Because you get like a dog now. I can't remember if I've talked about it. It's I can't, fellow. It's called a fellow. And basically, what you do is you run void mission, and you find blueprints for dog food, which level it up,
That's funny.
and then you have to craft it. And basically, the higher the rank of your dog, the further it will go to collect items.
Right.
Because
Okay.
it's basically like a pet in like a
Yeah.
lot of the other sort of type of games. It will just run and grab stuff. You can also get it to auto dismantle stuff, but I never really do, just in case that time it decides to wreck something decent
Right. Okay.
or something that might be a slight upgrade to what I have.
Yeah.
And generally, whenever I've been getting those blueprints, it's like, "Is the shit one? Is the shit one? Is the shit one?" And it costs the same to make the shit one as it does the best one.
Oh, that's a bit silly, isn't it?
So you kind of like, I don't want to be using all of my resources to make a shite one that doesn't even level it up a single level
Yeah.
when I want at least the medium one or the high one. And I must have run about 8 or 9 recently, and it just keeps giving me the worst bloody blueprint or money.
Uh.
Because having money in games, it does make me laugh when you sort of have a certain sort of like these kind of games that I get they're done to sort of get you in a loop to keep you playing.
Yeah.
But when something keeps giving you money when it's not even needed, you don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm swimming in like 200 plus million. There must be players like swimming in way more than that. And they're like, "Oh, do you want to have 100 grand?" And you're like, "No, actually, I'd rather have something useful."
Yeah. It's a
And
bit
then
weird.
you
You
get to
can't
the
buy those items that you need either. Like, there's no store like to buy them in
Y-
game money or
Well,
anything.
suppose you actually no. That's probably a good thing because there isn't. You can't microtransaction your way out of it and do it like that per
Mm,
se. I mean, it'll come. I mean, I think I've got mine to about level 24 out of the 30. It's
yeah.
just a pain that whenever you sort of run it again, you're like, oh, nothing this time again. Like, and then you get to the end chest and you open the chest with like the after you kill the boss. And he drops a chest, and you're like, you could get one of these items, and you're like, sweet, I'd like, oh, money. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
Jeez. Yeah.
so, but it is hard for, I suppose, a game like that to have that fine balance because you will have moments like that where you keep getting shit, but then you'll get a time where it's like, oh, here's a really good item, here's another really good item, and you sort
Yeah.
of get them on the bounce. Because if it was a game where everyone got everything what they kind of wanted all the time, you're just going to go in, get everything, and then stop playing it.
Yeah. True.
And for a game that's live service, that's basically a death knell.
Yeah.
Because if it's a live, especially if it's a live service co-op, because you'd have people going in and being like, oh, there's no one playing this because they've got everything.
Yeah.
They're just going to sit back and wait for the next season to turn up.
Yeah.
So, but they're running an event at the moment. They ran an event actually. I forgot to mention it because you were over in Australia anyway. But
Mm.
they actually, if you logged in for a bunch of days, you got Ultimate Bunny for free.
All right.
They just gave away an ultimate character.
Oh wow. Cool.
At the moment, they've got an event running where you log in and you get like lunar coins
All right.
for
Okay.
doing certain things. So they're reasonably easy, like complete a void vessel mission, do 2 invasion missions, do 4 missions anywhere in the game, and you get credits, and you can use those credits to actually buy things like the energy activators that can upgrade your module capacity,
Mm.
or you can get some catalysts which enable you to sort of like mark one of your module sockets so it can take less of a power sap sort of a thing. But some of the ones that they've actually got in there is like choose your own legendary weapon box.
All right.
So
Okay.
you can literally buy the legendary weapons you might be missing.
Ah.
So it's like
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
got 3 of a certain gun, so I could buy those 2 and choose 2 more of those same guns and then merge them together to get the fully upgraded version.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, they have added something called Void Erosion, which I think is the new one that came out last week. And completing that enables you to upgrade your weapon even more with cores and stuff.
Okay.
But I still don't fully understand all of that properly. And it's kind of one of those where it's like, oh, do you want to go into a game where you're against like monsters that are level 180 and stuff, and like proper bullet sponge and that? And you're like, not really.
Yeah. Fuck's
And I
sake.
kind
Yeah.
of, I kind of get it. I get it's there. It's there to sort of one of those things. You know, when you get those games where people are like, oh, see, I want more of a challenge. I want this. I want the game to literally kill me in my sleep if I fail. Um, type of a thing. I mean, I'd just love it if I was ever to be a game developer and they'd be like, oh, have you got any hard modes in your game? Go, yeah, I've got one. It's called Why Even Bother mode. And when you die in it, your character's permanently dead and it deletes your entire game save.
Oh.
So you have to start again from the beginning. Good luck, enjoy that. There you go. There's your hard mode.
Jeez.
Like,
Yeah.
so, but again, I think it's a game that has thrived really well in, I suppose, like the Discord things because you do need sort of communication and stuff between squad members if you're doing a lot of the high level. Oh, I've forgotten the name of the Colossus battles. You know, the ones, the
Right.
big arena
Okay.
things, and they are talking about maybe jazzing them up a little bit,
Okay. Cool.
which would be nice because like it's the same freaking arena, isn't it? Every time you're kind of loading
Yeah.
into like
Yeah.
an X-Men war room
Yeah.
per se, and I'd rather it was like different locations and things that would actually make more sense to the
Yeah.
enemies. Like I
definitely.
remember when they first showed the game off, like years ago, they actually had you fighting like the walkers and that in swamps and things.
Yeah.
And I think that would actually like be kind of cool. But there's still a lot of people playing it. I know everyone's like, "Oh, the player numbers have proper dropped down." It's the same with Final Fantasy.
Same with
Oh,
all
the
these
player
games.
numbers, and you log in and it's like, oh, you're in a queue, and you're like, oh yeah, so there's hardly anyone playing, but yeah, I'm in a queue to get into my
Yeah.
server because it's full.
Yeah. Every fucking time.
It's kind of weird. Dead game, lol, and that.
Yeah.
So there's always people sort of like playing them. I don't know what it is, whether it's just people wanting certain things to fail because they didn't like it and they left and moved on. I
Yeah.
mean, hell, I was never one for Destiny. Like after a certain point, I was just like, nah, not for me. But that game went on and on and on and on. Got a sequel. Loads of people still play that. Loads of people
Yeah.
still really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I pissed about with Last Faith again for a little bit. I
Last
haven't got much
Faith.
further. The Last Faith. It's that Metroidvania blood
Oh,
bawny
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Remember now?
So
Yeah.
I've started getting used to some of the stuff in that. So there is like parries and things in it that you can actually do, and brutal finishes and stuff on enemies, but it doesn't seem to pop up too often to actually let you sort of
Okay.
like brutalize an enemy. There's a lot of dodge rolling and stuff in it. But
Okay.
I'm now in like the main sort of like I suppose sort of town that's gone to shit. I can't remember the name of the actual place, but that place is filled with some weird and wonderful. The enemy design is fantastic. I will say.
Yeah,
So
look
you've got
like
like
nice art.
grave keepers shuffling along with like coffins on their backs with like half a skeleton hanging out of it and that, and
Jeez.
like big sort of like cook sort of maid women with like severed hand that like vomit
Oh, lovely.
and stuff. It's I'm a sucker for that old sort of like well-made 2D pixel art
Yeah, it looks
when
gorgeous,
it's
doesn't it?
done
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Mm. Again, like you can pick this game up for like under 20 quid or so. I don't know how big it is. It does have like a very Souls-like leveling system.
Right.
There's multiple weapons you can get. There's 4 classes to choose from the start. You've got a gun that fires silver bullets or like a type of bullet that's limited. Very much reminds me of Bloodborne, when you had that little shotgun kind of thing that you could whip out to
Yeah.
interrupt combos and stuff. So yeah, enjoying it. It's obviously going to have the Metroidvania thing of like you can't access this area yet
Yeah.
because you don't have the ability to get up to this point because it's too high, or you need the key to get through this gate to go round and pull the lever, which will then open this area up and make it more and more
Yeah.
accessible. So
Cool. That
mm,
looks good.
yeah, and I think I played about another half an hour to 45 minutes of Black Myth as well.
Nice.
I will say the only issue I have with that game, and I think it is pretty much the only issue, is there's no block bar.
Yeah, you
I
got to dodge. Yeah.
fucking hate that.
Yeah. It's got to
Like
learn to dodge
anyone
roll,
can
mate.
block. Yeah, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I mean, I didn't actually play the game because you can apparently play it in 60 FPS,
Right.
but it's not advisable to play it in 60 FPS because it uses frame generation
All
to
right.
make up the 60 FPS, and frame generation is not proper FPS.
Yeah.
So your kind of timing is going to be all over the show.
Yeah.
But then,
Oh.
depending on the enemy type, your timing will need to basically like change. So I've taken out a few more bosses and stuff. I think I've learned a couple more abilities and things.
Nice.
Because obviously you start unlocking I don't know what they're actually called. You like absorb the spirits
Yeah. Yeah.
because
They're
it was
like
like
the. Yeah. I can't
yeah,
remember
like
the.
I
Yeah.
killed the first boss I killed was like a big kind of monk thing with beads and a massive blue head.
Yeah.
And then when I took him out, like there were these blue things that were just floating in the
Oh,
air
the
that
orbs, like things like their
I was just
soul,
like,
innit? Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, what? And they kind of stayed there for a while.
Yeah, because you
And
can
then when I got
summon
further
them.
through the
Yeah,
game, yeah,
yeah,
when I got further through the game, I met some old bloke who was like, "Oh, give me a gourd, I'll paint it up." And he said this now has the ability to suck in the souls of the dead or something or other. And then it
yeah,
retroactively gave me that, which then allows you to sort of equip it, which
yeah,
gives you different buffs to your stats depending on which one you've got equipped. You can level them up, and they also give you access to like an ultimate move
yeah.
that you build up with spirit as well.
Hmm.
So that's all pretty sort of cool.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of giant frog thing I beat the crap out of as well. And things like the character designs and everything are really well done in it,
Oh, yeah.
and the music. But yeah, then I sort of like was just like not particularly in the mood, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Where
Yeah.
I was just kind of played it for a bit, and I was like, you know what, I'll move on to something else for a slight moment.
Yeah.
But it is one I'm gonna definitely dip in and out of. I think that's the best way to sort of play it, I suppose.
Yeah. So it can get frustrating if you get,
But I'm
stuck or whatever.
sorry, it's no lies of P. Like it just isn't to me.
That's fair enough.
Like that game to me was just like for the genre, the soul genre. I found Lies of P just like the game mechanics just felt so good on that game.
And the gothic kind of setting as well. And
Yeah, I mean, I like the Eastern setting, like the fantastical Eastern setting of this. It is
yeah.
beautiful and everything, but it Lies of P was like a vibe, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah. I know what you
And
mean.
it felt so good, like the perfect parrying and all of that kind of stuff. And I haven't got that with this. You've got like the dodges, the perfect dodges that leaves like the sort of thing behind,
Yeah.
like the after image and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's just not as good as like a good
Mm.
like counter attack, is it?
Yeah. I know
Like
what you mean.
clashing and that.
Yeah.
I will say, because basically that's the last game I was gonna sort of like talk about that I played.
Yeah.
Did you watch or did you see the trailer for the? It wasn't really a trailer. It was kind of like a showcase of like a new boss for Phantom Blade Zero.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, so that game's going to be very interesting. We still don't have a release date for it yet.
Oh, was this
It's
the one from the PlayStation? Uh,
event years ago with the really fancy sort of like wushu style combat. Yeah,
yeah. There's a
very fluid, fast deflection kind of
there's a six
thing.
minute fucking trailer.
Yeah, so it's basically a boss fight against. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a collection of enemies that all fight as one unit.
Hmm. Looks very
Um,
fast, doesn't it?
yeah, I mean, I just like the fact that the whole thing is like the enemies do specific moves and like it all plays out like a well choreographed kind of fight
Hmm.
to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, it's got to be kind of a bit of a what would you call a talent to make something play out and be interesting regardless of how you take it on.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're playing out a cinematic fight, even though you still have a lot of control over how it plays out and what goes on.
Yeah.
But the enemy's attacks and all of that lot are still carrying on and making everything feel very fluid and like it almost feels like a set piece, but it's not.
Yeah.
That game isn't actually going to be a Souls game. It's not a Souls like. It's just a hack and slash.
Oh, good.
But
Like
it's
a bit
going
like
to
Ninja
have,
Gaiden sort of
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're taking like thing. They wanted the fast, quick paced sort of combat of like a Ninja Gaiden, but at the same time they kind of wanted to take certain things from the Souls games
Right.
and
Okay.
other stuff. So you have got perfect blocks and parries and all that kind of stuff
Nice.
in there, I believe.
Awesome.
So that's I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that this week
Yeah.
because it was
Yeah.
one of them ones where I'm kind of surprised they haven't dropped a demo because when
Yeah.
they talked about it during the summer thing last year, there was a demo that people
Right.
could play at Gamescom and stuff.
Yes, I did just see when I was
But
looking at YouTube, there was a 27-minute gameplay video as well
yeah,
that you can watch. Hmm.
but then people are also saying that have seen this new trailer that have actually played the previous demo. They've actually said, "Oh, this looks a bit more polished."
Yeah, well, it will be, won't it?
From what they've done. So they've obviously been working on it quite a bit,
Yeah,
which may be the reason why we haven't got that demo yet.
yeah, maybe.
Because if it's going to represent an older build of the game, it's not going to give like a good impression, is it?
No.
Which is brings me to the thing of you've got the Monster Hunter Wilds demo coming out within the next week or two.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing like another open beta for it,
Oh,
which
okay,
will
yeah.
net you some stuff in the game if you do it, play
Oh,
it,
okay.
like some charms. So I'll log in and do it again just to see what it is. Problem is all of the modern changes they've done to the game, where in regards to like the picture and the frame rate and everything,
Yeah.
that's not done for the demo. The demo is still on
Uh,
the older build of the game.
oh, right. That's a bit odd, eh?
So those improvements will be coming a bit further down the line. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if playing on the Pro makes any difference, even though,
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware, it wasn't Pro enhanced like the
yeah,
last beta. And if it's running off of the older code still, then I doubt this new one will be.
yeah,
But we shall see anyway. So yeah, I've always found that kind of hard because you want to promote your game, but at the same time you don't want to put out a poor showing of something that's
yeah,
actually better than what is there.
definitely.
Where like the devs would be like, no, it is way better than this. Trust me. Like you just have
Yeah.
to buy it when it comes out. This is based on an old build. Maybe they'll have a notice on there when it sort of like comes out to say this is an old build.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not far off now, is it?
No, I'm not sure what the date. What does it say the date is on there?
I think it's somewhere around the end of February, isn't it?
That's not long at
Because I
all.
think I was quite lucky because I know I'm going to be working like around the middle of February, and I think it comes out towards the end of February, so I won't
Right.
have to sort of be sat at work annoyed that I can't play it.
Yeah.
You'll
Very
all have a free
nice.
game. Yeah, you'll all have a free game to play next week anyway. A lot of you on Xbox.
What's out next week then?
Sniper Elite Resistance,
Oh, right. Didn't even know.
I believe. And I think it's a Game Pass game. I believe it's a Game Pass game anyway. I think it's out on like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right.
Maybe even earlier if you buy the Super Deluxe
Oh, because I quite
edition with
enjoyed
the
playing the
early
last
access.
the
Oh,
last
they're
one with
fantastic
Peeps
games.
in
Yeah,
co-op.
they're fantastic games, the Sniper Elites. I mean, you have to kind of get used to them because it was like my mate Goose. He played, I think it was Sniper Elite 4. It was one of the ones where they first added the overhead planes going
Right.
over, and you're supposed to only shoot when the planes are going over because it masks your shot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all the enemies are like, "There he is," and like send the fucking troops off to like stamp on your head.
Oh yeah.
And he said he kept getting destroyed because he didn't know how to play the game properly. But
The 30th of January, yeah, Sniper Elite Resistance.
uh,
Yeah, man. Nice.
yeah, like my
Mm.
mate's looking forward to that. He's a full on, and this is a weird one because when I was obviously looking through it, because I may or may not pick this up because I really enjoyed the last one.
What's that?
I noticed it's still got the invasion mode,
What's that?
so you
Sniper
can,
Elite?
yeah. So basically, when you was playing, you could have the option to say yes or no to basically allow yourself to be invaded by a player who will pose as an enemy sniper and
Oh,
hide in the
right.
map to try and take you out.
Oh, right. How
Um,
annoying.
yes and no. Like my mate used to really enjoy doing it, and you could actually unlock weapons and level up and stuff by
Oh, that's
doing that.
cool.
But this game, for some strange reason, has a 16-player competitive multiplayer mode.
I'm sure they've done that in the past, though, with other
Have
ones.
they?
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
Mm. I mean, that's like I said to my mate. I said that could be interesting, but it might be one of them ones where you kind of like you're sitting there, you're all in your perfect spot, you're getting ready to snipe someone, and everyone's just running around with like what do you call it? It's
The
like
little Uzis and
the
shit like.
little I've forgotten the name of the gun. God, it's the Tommy gun, but it's not
Yeah, the
the
Thompson.
yeah, that's it, the Thompson, and
Yeah,
like the good old MP44 and all that.
yeah, yeah,
MP40, sorry, MP40.
yeah.
MP40 was the shit in
Well,
Call of
Wolfenstein.
Duty 3.
Oh, COD
Call of Duty
3.
3.
Jeez, yeah.
Call of Duty 3 multiplayer, mate. You're always like, yes, with the Germans MP40.
Yeah,
Because it's like, oh, you out of rounds, little man, with your Thompson, because it only had like a 20-round clip, and it was like,
yeah.
brrr, and that was it. Reloading. Oh, sorry, mate, I got more in my MP40. Like,
Mm.
oh. So yeah, it's not actually it's just resistance, isn't it? So it's not actually a full-on numbered title.
No.
This is like kind of one of the in-betweens. But I think I've enjoyed every kind of Sniper Elite
Oh,
game
yeah,
that
they're
they've
all
done.
fun. Yeah.
Even like the zombie army ones are fan bloody tastic as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Yeah, bloody well good.
And if it's like the last one, there was a lot to do in the
Yeah.
last one. Like I remember on the maps, like all the different sub quests and things for you to try and do, like find all the different collectibles and other bits and bobs. Oh, there's also a co-op mode as well, like a co-op horde mode.
Oh, really? Oh, weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Where are we? Uh, yeah, if competition isn't your style, you can also team up with 3 other players against waves of enemies in survival mode.
Cool.
Locate unique propaganda posters across the main campaign missions and then step into the shoes of French resistance fighters in all new propaganda missions.
Oh, nice. That sounds cool.
During these extra scenarios, sneak, snipe, and take down enemies to complete time-sensitive objectives and help end Nazi occupation.
Nice.
So it sounds like it's going to have a fair bit to it.
Cool.
But they're quite busy, aren't they, Rebellion? Because they've got that awesome-looking Atomfall coming out as well, haven't they, in
Oh, is that them,
March?
is it?
Yeah,
Oh, nice. Wow.
that's going to be a Game Pass game as well.
Yeah, I think that's out. I just saw it.
End of March,
Yeah, it's
just
not
after my
long.
birthday. I was like, oh, English old school Fallout
Yeah,
style of
27th.
game. I'm
Yeah.
in. Like, I'm in. Like, English countryside with red flame booths and that. Like,
I'm surprised that Expedition 33 is coming to Game Pass because I didn't think it was. And yeah, that's cool.
oh no, I remember like them. I think when it was first announced, they said it was. They
Nice.
obviously had approached the studio and scooped it up. It's a French group, is it? Or French studio, isn't it? I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
Game is very, very heavily French inspired and everything, which is
Yeah.
cool because it's nice to get different types of developers from all over the world
Yeah.
finally involved. I mean, you've got more and more games coming from China nowadays, and to
Oh,
be
yeah.
honest, like they're pretty damn good
Oh, no. That's the worry, isn't it?
outside of the phone games. Well, I'm sorry if you're a Western game developer and you're just pumping out shit nobody wants, then you deserve for someone to come over and start eating your food.
Yeah. Well, I just need to learn from it and stop pumping out good games again, especially Ubisoft. You know? So, we'll see.
But yeah, onto the news anyway.
Yeah,
Even
there's
though
been
we've
quite a
probably
bit of
been
news this week. Yeah, so there's been quite a few articles I've noticed this week about Grand Theft Auto 6, which is still apparently coming out this year.
oh yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah.
But there's lots of rumours going around that it's going to be the first video game to cost £100. And apparently, what
And
they're saying is there's hope in the video game industry that they do sell it for £100 because then other studios are going to start to follow suit.
they will be fucked if they do. Because I'm sorry, that
Yeah,
is the only video game that could get away with that.
yeah,
I think it is literally the only video game to get away with that. Because even if people are like, no, no, I'm not paying that, no, 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 as soon as that game comes out
Yeah.
or it's nearing the time and the hype starts building and people are
Yeah.
playing it and
Yeah.
everyone's going to be like, oh, you know what, I caved.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, if you're like some random fucking EA whatever and you're going to think that you're going to start charging 100 quid for the shit you put out, no, mate,
Yeah.
ain't
Yeah.
going to fly.
Yeah.
You're just going to end up selling even less copies than what you sell now. Like the easiest way round it, I know I've probably mentioned this before, cut your fucking budgets.
Well, Grand
Not
Theft Auto
not
is like a
every
once in a
game,
fucking 10
yeah.
year plus thing, isn't
But you
it?
hear about like half these Sony games, and it was like, oh, it's cost 200 plus million to make. And you're like, all right. And then like something like Black Myth comes out, and that didn't cost anywhere near 200 million,
Yeah, but I think the problem
as far
is,
as I'm
I
aware.
think, I think that some of the problem is that I was trying
Money
to.
embezzlement. It's got to be
Well,
like
no,
embezzlement going
there's
on.
too
Like,
much.
where's all this money going?
Well, I was talking to someone about this the other day, and we were saying there's too much focus. They listen to the vocal minority, and I'm sorry, it is a vocal minority online of people.
That can be taken
Oh,
either
I
way.
want
Yeah, with
every
like
game to be at
online.
least 4K, 60 FPS. A lot of the best-selling games every year are like indie games, which look like 16-bit games.
To be
You,
honest, I think they might be getting around that with like your DLSS and your PSSR and
yeah, I
stuff. You
know.
can just make a 1080 60 and then
Mm.
have the AI like upscaler work to boost the resolution.
Do you know what the most popular resolution is for PC gamers still?
1440p.
No,
Oh, is it still 1080?
1080p is the most popular resolution on PC, even today.
But then again, you're talking about someone who might only have like a 21-inch widescreen,
Yeah,
and if you're playing in on a screen that small, 1080 is going to look fine.
yeah, but even still, right? I know, like we go
The
on about
4K stuff is
resolutions and
only good
mm,
when you've got like a big 50, 60-inch telly. Like
yeah,
if I had
plus,
a 30-inch TV, it'd be pointless having a 4K because you wouldn't
yeah.
notice it.
But even Switch games still look good on a big 4K TV, and they're only 1080p or less. I mean,
Yeah,
not
you
not
also have a
everything is
lot of
about
the more
the
modern
resolution.
a
Yeah.
lot of the modern TVs do have like a kind of upscaler built
Mm-hmm.
in them as well. So
Mm. But that's where the
although
budgets are
there is one
going.
thing on modern TVs that does need to fucking piss off, like, and I mean absolutely piss the fuck off,
What's that?
and that is that shitty like TV thing, where it's like a frame gen for TVs.
All right.
And when you're watching films, it makes them look like they're filmed on someone's camera phone.
Oh, I've not seen that. Is it like a mode that automatically turns on or something?
It's kind of like a weird. I don't know what it's called. It's called something different on every single make of television. But it basically makes all of your films and stuff that should be running at like 28 FPS, like run at like 50 or something, and it makes it look shitty as
Oh,
hell.
weird. Oh, I
Like it's
don't.
awful. Like my mate on his telly, he's got an LG. He can't figure out how to turn it off. And
Oh.
every time I take a film down his house to watch, we're like, yeah.
Mm,
And then as soon as he sticks it on, I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
mm.
I forgot your telly's shit. And it now looks horrendous. Like, so I've got to sit there playing
Oh,
or
what
watching this
was
film looking like it's filmed through a camera.
yeah, just cycling back to Grand Theft Auto though, is it does like I'm hoping it doesn't because they make so much money from the online, like
How
silly
much does this
money.
game cost to make, though? Like,
Oh no, but they'll recoup it back easy just from sales alone, and then they'll make back even more from fucking online shark
yeah, I
cards, all
mean,
that
they
bullshit.
could proper drop the ball with this. Like, if
Mm,
it's like far too PC, like as in politically
yeah,
correct,
yeah.
I think people are going to get pissed
I don't think it will
because there's
be. I mean, there is
yeah,
some
it
worry out
shouldn't
there.
be. Like, you've always like everything should be up for like having the Mickey taken.
Yeah.
Like that's the way things generally always have been. Um, But then again, it was just like rumors, wasn't it? Like, oh, they're cutting down on this. They're trying not to be as offensive. And I was like, what was offensive in GTA? Like, if it was offensive, it was there to be joke offensive, I guess. I don't really take most things in a GTA thing sort of super serious because it's
Yeah.
never really sort of like portrayed in that sense of a way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There's always had like a comical overtone with it, even with like Trevor's like tripping out and he's like killing like mad clowns and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to take that seriously. It's there for just a weird sort of joke.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, that's really upsetting against people with real mental disorders. And it's like, what are you on about, mate? It's a game.
Oh dear. Right. Yeah. So that's Grand Theft Auto, mate. We will see. I hope it isn't £100, but you never know.
I think it could skate around that, and even if it's not £100, they will do a version of it that is £100.
Mm.
So it might. I could probably see GTA doing the classic, like play it early, and like if you buy this edition kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long since the last game, I don't even think that type of business model existed on the last on GTA 5. But yeah, I think the companies are going to be a bit shocked at how many less copies of games they sell if they think they can just put out something and charge £100. But if they're selling us games where the whole thing's on the disc, there's no added DLC or fucking paid for added on content and everything's there day one, then that might throw a bit of sway with people. But I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah. Hey, Jaw Dog just put a comment in the Twitch saying it was pretty wild in Grand Theft Auto 3 when you could beat the hooker to get your money back.
That's always the one excuse they always use, don't they? Have
Oh
you
no,
noticed?
yeah,
You know when they
yeah,
talk about GTA, it's so violent. Look, you can take this prostitute out, get her services, and then kill her and take your money back. Ooh, and it's evil, and it's like, can you come up with something else? Because like, that's the same thing, isn't it?
yeah,
It
yeah,
always comes out. Like, yeah, I could understand. Like, yeah, oh, there's a load of kids in the game now, and you can drive a fucking bus into the school playground. Like, that would actually be something that would sort of like make the headlines and such.
yeah.
But yeah.
Um,
And at the end of the day, I don't think any kid who's played GTA has actually probably gone out and done that in real life.
no, well, you never know, mate. But yeah,
Well, there's always maybe one, I suppose.
yeah,
But yeah, most people are normal. They don't do that kind of thing.
yeah. I'm going to move on, mate. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I already mentioned it earlier. There's a load of clickbait articles online about it being torrented 173,000 times. I'm going to say that's a load of bullshit. There is no way to know how many times a game has been torrented. But it's one of the rare times that Square Enix have put a game out without Denuvo, the anti-piracy technology in the game.
I actually wonder if, like, fair enough, yeah, they are going to lose sales. Could it have been a little bit of a faith move?
What do you mean?
Big. Well, say you're a massive Final Fantasy fan,
Yeah,
you would have bought it on the PC if it had come out at the same time as it came out on the PlayStation.
100%.
It didn't.
Yeah,
You bought it on the PlayStation instead,
yeah,
and now you're like, I want it on the PC, but I ain't fucking paying for it again.
yeah. Even though the price of it on online is fucking really good. It is $32.99,
That's not bad.
which is
Yeah.
really good price. Yeah. But I don't know where this story's come from. Yes, it got cracked and went onto pirate sites the day it came out. I know this. But so what? Every fucking game is fucking pirated all the fucking time. You know what I mean? I don't know why this particular game is such big news. I don't get it. So, like your Dynasty Warriors game that you were talking about the other week, well, that's on there. I could download that if I wanted. You know, it's, it's just part and parcel of PC
PC
gaming.
gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but their games on PC still sell fucking shitloads. So, yeah, because in my mind, the people that are going to pirate games are the people that aren't really going to buy them anyway. So, mountain out of a molehill. Anyway, on other Final Fantasy VII news, the next part 3, the final part of 7, it apparently, take this news how you want it, the devs have come out and said that it's not going to be a PlayStation exclusive. So a lot of people are saying that they reckon it's going to come out on all platforms on launch day, which would be nice. I still want to see them come to Xbox, though. They still haven't made it there. But it would be
Yeah,
nice
well,
to
the
see it
only
come
way
to
they could
everything on
actually
launch.
really do that is if they release the previous 2 on Xbox by the point that one comes out. But
Yeah,
then you might still find that technically it's not an exclusive anyway still. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those kind of games where it's just like, yeah, you just wait a year and it comes to the other platforms. There's no
yeah,
big deal for it,
yeah, yeah,
kind of thing. And it's because it's the last one. It would kind of be weird if PlayStation didn't have a deal for the last game if they had one for the first and second.
yeah,
And they definitely did sell extra consoles and stuff due to that. And
yeah,
there's like people that I know of that bought a PS4 Pro or PS5 Pro solely for Rebirth
yeah,
because it was a lot way better on the Pro than it was for the standard PS5. So they were like, "Oh, I wanted it, so I waited and I just got the thing and played it on that."
yeah. Cool. Right, next. There's been some more leaks regarding the Switch 2 and games. Um, there's a leak that says there's going to be a new 3D Super Mario game for the Switch 2 and a Zelda remake, but they're not sure which Zelda it is.
Oh, I would say I'd go for Twilight Princess is probably the only one they haven't done yet.
mm,
Going along the next lot of things, and that
yeah,
game was like pretty well done.
yeah.
Because wasn't that the one that was available on the
We?
GameCube? I want to say the
Oh,
GameCube, and then the Wii
I think,
at the same
yeah.
set of time.
Because it had that annoying thing on the Wii with the controller. You had to use the move controller thing, I think. If I recall right, it might have been something else. I can't
No, you're
remember.
thinking of Skyward Sword, maybe,
Oh, yeah,
which
maybe.
has been remade, hasn't it, recently? And I think
Oh,
they did
okay.
change some of that.
Did you hear like some other stuff about that? The new Mario Kart.
Do you know
We
how
saw
many
it
copies that the last one sold on the Switch?
of what Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Go on.
Look up the amount of sales. I can't remember what it is, but look up how many copies Mario Kart has sold on the Switch.
Mario Kart Switch sales. 62.9 million units. Bloody hell. That's from June last year. Up to
Yeah,
June last. Jesus Christ.
that's an insane number for an exclusive game for one system as well.
Fucking hell. But isn't the Switch now
Eh,
like the best selling console of all time or something?
I think it's bordering around the PS2 sort of mark. I think some of
Mm,
that was kind of poo-pooed, but it
right.
is definitely up there as like almost like one of, if not the best.
Jesus.
But
But
yeah,
apparently,
that's
yeah.
like, even think of that, like 62 million copies of that sold.
Yeah.
Even if the game, like the Wii U, had sold like 150 million units or whatnot,
Mm.
that means at least every 1 out of 3 owners has that game.
Yeah, because it says here the Switch has sold over 146 million units worldwide. Wow.
And that game is a remake of a Wii game or
I
Wii U
know.
game.
I know. It's fucking mad, isn't it? So apparently, right, we saw the trailer of the new Mario Kart in that Switch 2 announcement.
Yes.
There's a lot of pondering online that it looks like it might be an open world game, a bit like a Forza Horizon.
No.
I don't think it's going to be like that. Because do
Yeah.
you think they'll
I
change up
don't
the
know.
model that much?
Maybe I suppose having a bit of exploration around, like if you could explore all of the different lands that each of the tracks are based upon, that could be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah,
Especially if it unlocked extra extra like characters and sort of like paint jobs and different things like that, customizations.
yeah,
But yeah, that Mario Kart was like basically Nintendo's Fortnite, basically.
yeah, yeah. Crazy. Right. Oh yeah. So you know that I saw this bit of news. It made me laugh. Elon Musk has been saying on podcasts and stuff like that that he's an expert Diablo 4 player and an expert Path of Exile 2 player. Well, he's finally admitted that he isn't. He's been paying someone to boost his accounts.
Why would you even do that though?
I don't know. I just fucking like everyone knew that he was boosting his accounts because he's such a busy guy. You know what I mean? With his
I mean, with
companies
the
and shit.
Diablo 4 stuff, yeah, maybe, because that game is very sort of pick up and play. But Path of Exile was like some serious brainstorming
Yeah,
shit and
yeah.
stuff with that.
I just don't know why because he went out because there was some stuff going online where people were accusing him. Some big YouTuber accused him of
Asmongold.
yeah, and then he like got rid of his blue tick on Twitter for a week or something before he gave
I
it back to
think
him.
that was
Yeah.
apparently a mistake from like changing the profile. Do you remember like years ago if you got verified on Twitter, like if you changed your profile picture, like you'd lose your verification or something?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was something weird to do with something
Oh,
along
right.
those things,
Okay.
but you never really know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
it kind of was a little bit of a called me out on that one and stuff, but
yeah. Oh, dear. Well, I just thought that was quite funny. Um, okay, other news. Oh, yes. So this is going on from my what I was saying last week with some news about PC gaming becoming more popular than console gaming. Um, it says here there's a new thing come out. A survey has found that 80% of developers are now making games for PC, more than double the number working on PlayStation and Xbox. Which again, and I mentioned last week, I find quite funny in a way because you go back a few years and there was all these articles saying, "Oh, the death of PC gaming is among us." Because of console gaming, and now like PC gaming has become kind of like the most popular platform, you know?
it's because the consoles when they were like, "Oh, PC gaming's dead. We best copy PC then."
Yeah. I think now is kind of the best time to be a PC gamer because you're getting the best of all worlds with, all these exclusives coming to PC from PlayStation and Xbox now.
Not all, just some.
Most, I would say. Like, even like you got your God of Wars, your Horizon Zero Dawns, bloody Last of Us, Spider Man, all those big PlayStation games, you know?
No Bloodborne, no Demon Souls.
Yeah, true. But it's getting there. So I just found that quite interesting. And while we're on PC, the 50 series cards I think are out this week. And I called this out. I called this out last fucking week, and I've been calling it out in Discord since the announcement. There was all this rumbling. Oh, the new 5070 is going to be more powerful than the 4090. And I called out and said, look, it's all AI up-resing.
Yes, I've heard apparently a load of them were basically saying that, they were basically going, oh, like the FPS boost. It's
Yes,
all
yeah.
it's all frame gen.
Yeah, it's all
It's not
fake.
real frames. It's
Yep.
just fake bullshit. Like, so, like, people were literally saying this, like, there and then.
Yeah.
Like, you're not actually getting, like, 200 and something FPS. You're getting, like, the standard rate, but it's just using bullshit to make it look like it's going, what's
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Which is, I suppose, you're not really going to notice, like, say if you're running something at 120 and it's being displayed over that, you're
Yeah.
not really going to notice too much.
I just hate the way that
taking 60 is running something at 30 or something.
I hate the way they're selling it. You know, I hate because I called this out straight away because I was like, there's no fucking way that's going to happen. And being a PC gamer, I know not every game uses this DLSS upscaling. So I was like, so in my mind, and I was talking to one of my mates last week about this, I was like, what about a game that doesn't have the DLSS then? Like, how much of a performance boost are you going to get then? And so this Tech Radar put an article out saying 2 non-DLSS games have been tested, and there's only a 15% uplift from the 4080 to the 5080.
That's not too bad,
Yeah,
though.
but
Like,
still, it's not.
Because the prices are reasonable, aren't they, for these cards?
Yeah,
They're
but
not
it's
like ridiculous like the last lot.
Yeah, but it's still false advertising, and I hate that because it's like when PlayStation announced the PS5 and all over the box it says fucking 8K, 60 FPS.
8K, 120,
Yeah,
120, mate.
120,
8K,
you know,
120.
and I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like it's mis-selling. It does my tits in.
I don't know if it's super is because I think there was 1 or 2 games that did actually run at 8K but 120.
Well, they've
Probably
taken
like
it off.
Stick Fighter Simulator or something.
Well, they've taken off the boxes now, haven't they?
Yeah.
But, you know, yes, there is an improvement in technology with the new AI technology and the chips and all that to fucking boost your resolution, fake resolution, and your fake frames and all that.
The
But
resolution bumps are good, but again, there is a downside to that sometimes. So it can cause quick movements and stuff. You can get ghosting.
yeah, and shimmering.
And
So
other
like
stuff,
on
artifacting, yeah.
So like on Black Myth Wukong, I was around my mates last weekend, and he was like, "Oh, he's got a 3090, and he was playing Black Myth on his telly." And he was like, "Oh, you know, like fiddling with the settings and that." And I was like, "Mate, like," and he was like, "Look at the shimmering on the grass. It looked awful, you know, because it was running the DLSS, and you get different versions of it. You got performance, balanced,
Yeah,
quality.
using ray tracing
Yeah,
on Dragon's Dogma 2 on the PS5 Pro causes shimmering in
yeah,
certain areas and
yes."
stuff, and you're like, I just won't have that on then.
Well,
Fuck it.
so I said to him, "Why are you using the DLSS anyway? You got a decent card. Like, turn it off. Fucking turn it off." So turned it off. Well, he left it on, but it was on this I think it was like DLAA, where it doesn't down res the resolution and bring it up again. It like keeps it at
Right,
its
yeah.
default resolution, so it's pure 4K. And it was like, there's no shimmering on the grass. I was like, there you go then. And you're running at 60. What's your problem? So, you know, it just annoys me that there isn't this uplift in grunt performance anymore. It's all fake shit, and it's pointless.
I mean, at the end of the day, we still have to look at the fact that this is still a reasonably new technology.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Yeah,
still. I mean, I imagine the DLSS on PC is going to be pretty much like the PSSR on PlayStation. It can be fondled and upgraded and stuff with updates and changed. So things will improve, but at the moment it is causing like weird sort of issues, I think, because it is a new sort of thing. But it will help gaming in the long run, like you said, because games will no longer have to sort of like, oh, we've got to develop this to be running at native 4K, etc., or maybe
yeah,
even higher, like years down the line. They can just develop it at 1080,
yeah.
which everything is compatible with, and then just use these other tools to literally upscale it. Because the upscalers, as far as the actual upscaling goes, do a bloody good job.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, I don't know. A big part of me's like, I've had my graphics card for 4 and a bit years now, and it's perfect. Like, I don't feel like I need to upgrade anything, and I'm just like, kind of
Well,
look at these
that's
new
good.
cards. I'm like, meh. You know what I mean? So.
I was going to say, like, one of the guys I watch on YouTube a fair bit, he like mainly just PC games, but most of the things he runs stuff on a 3090 or 3080 or something.
Yeah.
and he says he still manages to get stuff at high and everything, but I think he said he plays most of his stuff in 1080, and
Yeah.
if he's connected to a monitor and everything, that's perfectly fine. You're only going to really notice if you're playing on like a 48-inch like big screen TV downstairs and you're like sat pretty close to it.
Yeah. My last thing is you didn't watch the Dev Direct from Xbox, did you?
No, I was gonna, but it was like I was eating at the time it was
Yeah.
on.
So they showed Ninja Gaiden 4,
Yeah, that
and
was the unknown announced game, wasn't it?
which looks pretty cool. And they also released the same time Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which is the remaster of 2, which is quite
Classic. I
cool.
think that's already been remastered as well,
Uh,
unless it's Ninja Gaiden Black back then. It might have actually been. I've got it on the Vita, I believe.
all right, yeah, Ninja
So they did
Gaiden
release
2
it on the
Black,
Vita.
yeah. Yeah, so Ninja Gaiden 4 though looks pretty cool. Hack and slash. What more can you say? It's
Oh,
Ninja
Ninja
Gaiden.
Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus, it was called
Right.
on the Vita.
Nice. So yeah, that looks quite cool. They talked about South of Midnight, which I think has an interesting art style for sure. It's kind of that clay stop motion, a bit like Trapdoor. You remember that? Under my trapdoor.
Oh, of course I remember Trapdoor, a bit of Willie
Yeah.
Rushton.
But I don't know, mate. I'd need to see more on it, but I don't know if it's really going to be my kind of game. But I think it looks very
You get to
pretty.
test it because it's Game Pass, obviously.
Yeah, it looks very pretty, and it's got like kind of a magical kind of vibe to it. A bit like, kind of reminds me of Fable a little bit, just a tiny tad. But yeah, I don't know. The gameplay just looked a bit clunky and shit for what they were showing, but yeah, it looked quite interesting. Sandfall. Oh no, Expedition 33. They showed a lot more of that. I mean, I'm looking forward to this because it's pure turn-based combat, which is really cool. And it's gone in.
The only thing I'm worried about with this game
Yeah, go on.
is it looks to be quite miserable. When it
Yeah,
comes to the storyline, I haven't seen any
yeah,
kind of like, yeah, it's all like covered in blood, screaming, crying, like sort of depressing kind of sort of thing.
yeah. It's
But
like,
again,
yeah, it's an interesting
the,
story though, isn't it?
yeah, oh, it's cool. Again, it's got that kind of weird steampunky sort of
yeah,
aesthetic to it.
yeah,
And again, this could be a fantastic demonstration in how you do turn-based combat, but keep it interesting and dynamic rather than it just being player jumps forward, attacks, enemy jumps back.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it'll be interesting to play it and see what it's like. But I just like the vibe of the story, the whole this witch turns up and every year there's a big number on this island and it ticks down every year and everyone over that age dies instantly. And that expedition's going out to try and stop her. I just found it sounds just quite cool. It's just interesting story and yeah. And then
Definitely
they,
one I'm looking
yeah,
forward to. That's end of April, isn't it?
yeah, it is, mate. Yeah. And then they showed off Doom: The Dark Ages, which is interesting because it has no multiplayer. It's
Oh,
purely
didn't they?
go
I was
on.
going to say, didn't they just add the multiplayer into the last one?
I can't
I don't
remember.
remember the first one actually having it because I know one of the season passes for one of the Dooms. It was either the Doom reboot or Doom Eternal that had like multiplayer stuff as part of the season pass.
Oh, okay. But anyway, yes, there's no multiplayer, but they're just they're saying it's a prequel to Doom 2016. And yeah, it's more Doom. So you just run around killings monsters and shit.
Bloody hell! Actually, just thinking about it.
Oh, excuse me. I tried to mute my microphone, but I didn't mute it in time.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, just that's kind of mad. Just thinking of the fact that obviously the sort of Doom reboot is almost 10 years old,
Yeah.
and the God of War reboot as well, because I'm pretty sure that was 2016 as well.
Ah.
Oh,
Well,
speaking of which, have we talked about all of like the random cancelled PlayStation Studios shite?
did we talk about it last week or not? I can't
I
remember.
can't remember.
I think we might have done. There was, yeah, loads of their games have been cancelled, haven't they?
Yeah,
I'm sure
because
we mentioned it last week.
once again, it's almost like a case of companies not listening to what the customers actually want.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they announced, oh, PlayStation Studios are going to start investing heavily into games as a service, there was like a collective groan that literally echoed up
Yeah.
from the inner depths of the earth, and they didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And then they literally released one live service game that literally just tripped over its own feet straight out the gate, and they've suddenly pulled everything back.
Mm. Yeah, I'm sure we talked about them last week. There's been quite a lot of PlayStation cancellations, hasn't there? And I'm sure, yeah, because I'm sure that news went into the Discord. Yeah, on the 18th, I put it on there. Yeah, was
All right,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, that was last Saturday. Yeah, Concord, an unannounced God of War game, Last of Us multiplayer, Spider-Man 2 multiplayer, a Ben Studio multiplayer game, Twisted Metal, a London Studio game, a Deviation Games game, and a game called Payback, which was a third-person Destiny spin-off from Bungie. All of those games cancelled.
I'm still fucking pissed that they turned Blue Point onto a God of War fucking multiplayer game, like live service game. It's like,
Fuck.
what the hell are you doing? Did you not see what a magnificent job they did with Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls? And then you stick
Mm,
them on that.
mm. I
And it was
did.
also announced this week they cancelled a Horizon MMO, didn't they?
Oh yes, they did, didn't they? Yeah. Oh yeah, I
I
forgot to put
wonder
it in
if
there.
that's due to the fact that Lego Horizon sold like,
Shit.
yeah, basically didn't. I don't know what it did on console. I know on PC it didn't do hardly anything.
Well, it's not. It's aimed at kids, and kids don't really play those games. I don't. It's not a kids' game, is it?
Yeah, maybe they were thinking like, oh, if we release it around the time people will buy it for their kids over Christmas and stuff.
Hmm. Oh, I did notice as well that if you've got PS Plus, God of War Ragnarok is on there now.
That's fine.
Uh,
I mean, I still don't think they kind of really recovered from Helldivers 2. That was the one game that did actually accomplish what they set out to do.
yeah.
They're like, oh, we've baked this really beautiful cake. Everyone's really enjoying it. Everyone's feasting down, and Sony came along and went, let's stick our dick in it.
Yeah.
Oh, we've lost half the players.
Oh dear. See you later then. That's all my news, Darren.
Mm,
Well, we've managed to go for over 2 hours, just the two of us, which is quite impressive.
that's not bad, considering we both hardly played anything either.
There's been a lot of news though, which has been quite good. So,
Not all good news, albeit, but
it's good to
there
have
has been
news.
news.
Yeah, good to have news.
Oh, there was a news story, wasn't there? Do you remember? Oh, you probably even mentioned it before. There's some PlayStation game coming out, isn't there? It doesn't look great. Let's be real.
What's it
But there was
called?
controversy about it. I can't even remember what it was called. Scarlet something maybe rings a bell. It's sort of like a Dino Crisis-y type of game with a female protagonist during like a dinosaur thing. And they stated that they didn't want to release it on the PC because modders.
Scarlet. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Actually, I'm sure we did.
Yeah, I can't
Scarlet
remember if it was
Nexus,
last
isn't
week or
it?
before. Maybe.
No, that's an old game. No, I saw something about that on Twitter actually again yesterday. I can't remember the name of the game though off the top of my head. It's blanked for me. But I
Oh, I
know
did
what you mean.
actually see. Yeah, I did actually see the other day as well. Like a new announcement of like new content for No Rest for the Wicked,
Oh, okay, nice.
and also on the end of the trailer it had PS5 and Xbox, so it is obviously coming to those platforms because it's just PC only at the moment, I believe.
Oh, okay. Cool.
which is kind of weird because it was the Ori Will of the Wisps lot, wasn't it, that
Yeah.
made it? And
Yeah.
obviously they started off on Xbox, and then that came out, and it was like, oh, it's just on the PC for now.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that's got that cool sort of shaded art style and look to it and everything.
Yeah.
Like a pretty game for what it is.
Yeah. Wow. Good
So yeah, at
times,
least
mate.
you'll have some new stuff to talk about next week if you're going to try out Sniper.
Well, we'll see if I can get myself off ARMA Reforger, mate. That is my addiction at the minute. Good or bad. Bad for the podcast, but it's good to be hooked on a game like this. It's a
I'm
good
sure, I'm
feeling.
sure no one got sick of me talking about Final Fantasy 14 for like a decade.
Yeah, it's just really annoying because I resubbed and then a week later I'm hooked on something else. I mean, at least I managed to finish the story on 14, like the new story. I need to finish off the Hildebrand.
Did you do? Oh, you did the raid, didn't you?
Oh no, I didn't actually. So I need to do the
The
raid.
24-man raid.
No, I've not done that either.
Uh,
So it's just finding the time to get away from armor, unfortunately.
you played 11, didn't you? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So this one is, I think it's 11 themed
Oh,
again.
nice. Very nice. Very nice. Cool. I think on that note, Darren, I think we're done.
Mm,
It's been good. Good
pretty much.
times. Good times, mate. All right. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's listened live on the Twitch. Thank you so much for sticking with us for this 2 hours. For everyone else, thank you very much. Big thank you to all the Patreons. Without you, this show wouldn't happen. You're all super awesome. You can listen live every Sunday night, 7:30 at twitch.tv/Webby360G or at patreon.com/360gamercast. So from me and Darren, it's been awesome as always. We shall see you next week. Goodbye. There we go.
Nice.
Good times, mate.
Oh, I saw in the group that you've watched Nosferatu.
Yeah, it was all right, man, but it was just, I don't know what my mood was. It was just a bit slow, I thought.
I liked it, man. It was a good film.
Apparently, it's a remake of another original silent film called
Yeah, that's
Nosferatu.
so old. It's in
Yeah.
public domain.
Wow.
Nosferatu. It's in public domain.
Oh, wow.
But I thought, like you said, the cinematography and the
Mm,
shots, some of the shots in
mm.
it and everything, it's a really nice film to look at.
Yeah, definitely.
And the performances are sort of like nicely over the top as well.
Yeah.
I liked the kind of spin that they gave on the Nosferatu Count character,
Yeah.
making him seem like he was more from that region.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was it was an interesting film, but it was just like, oh, it's just like, man, come on. Like some points, I was just like, fuck's sake, hurry up and do something. But
That is one of those films, I think, that even though it was quite long, I think it clocks in at just over 2 hours, 5 or 6 minutes if you take the credits out.
right.
But it seemed to pass really quick for me.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, we're in the final act," sort of a thing. I think one of the only other films that's ever done that me with is Oppenheimer. That film just went by in a flash, even though it's
Yeah, I
like
loved
almost 3 hours
Oppenheimer.
or so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. I've just noticed there's a new Star Trek film just appeared online.
Yeah, I
Looks
think
shit.
if you like the new Star Trek
Uh,
style and the way it's gone, you'll like
no.
it. But
And something called
if you
September.
don't,
Yeah, someone called September 5, but it come out last year, but it's just appeared on my app. About the Olympics.
September 5. The other thing you've watched that I kind of want to see
Yeah.
is that American whatever the hell it's called. Is it? I can't. No, Primevals or something like that, isn't it?
American Primeval on Netflix, a
That's it,
TV show.
American Primeval. Yeah, I didn't realise. When it was originally showcased, I was like, this kind of looks interesting. And I thought it was just a film.
Nah, it's a TV series, mate. Yeah.
And I was quite happy to find out it was a TV series.
Yeah, there's only 6 episodes. I've watched 3 of them already, and it's really good. Because I just
That's
finished
good.
watching
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders. I binged all 6 seasons in the space of 2
All right,
weeks.
I've only seen the first 3 or 4 episodes of that. I've got the box set.
That's
So it's
well
kind of
good,
one I've
mate.
been working through.
Well good.
It's where a lot of internet gifs and memes have come from, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I've noticed. Yeah.
How many times do you get to see like old Tommy put a gun to his head and scream and that? Yeah, because that Landman's finished now, isn't it? I've still got the
Oh, I've
last
not even
episode
seen
to
that.
watch.
Not seen
Have
that.
you not seen that?
No, is that Netflix? Is it?
Landman. It's Paramount, I want to say.
Okay.
It's part of whatever platform.
Is that
Not
is that
Horizon.
Amazon, isn't it? Landman. Oh, it's 2 seasons of that. Modern day
Is it?
telefortune seeking in the world of West Texas oil rigs.
There's only been 1 season so
Oh,
far. Obviously,
season
that
2
means season
trailer I've
2's
just
been.
seen online.
Oh,
Oh,
right. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to sort of watch that. But yeah, that's a show that I kind of wasn't expecting much from.
All right.
I found myself falling like just loving the characters like pretty quickly in that.
Okay.
There hasn't actually been a character in it I've disliked,
Oh,
or how
nice.
certain stories have played out and how people act. And Billy Bob Thornton in that role is fantastic. It's almost like he's in the role he was meant to portray.
Yeah. Nice.
Just like don't give a fuck, rolling with the punches, just getting through life.
Nice.
But yeah, you'll like that. I think you'll like that. It's
Yeah. All
Taylor
right.
Sheridan, the guy behind the show that I can't think of the bloody name of, that went on for like 4 or 5 seasons with Kevin Costner. It's got like
All
the
right.
18 whatever spin off and the other one. Why can't I remember the name of that? It's bloody well known. But yeah.
Nice, mate. In
But yeah,
there.
I'm gonna chip home.
Yeah, I'm gonna ring the missus. Message me, ask me to ring her anyway. So
Watch something before bed.
yeah, cool, mate. All right, well, cheers, and I'll chat to you in the week.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, mate. Catch you later.
Alright, catch you later, mate. Cheers, bye.
Bye.